Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Matburn Podcast. This episode is brought to you by two of our most beloved sponsors. The first one is Line Tax LLC. We've been working with these guys for about a month now. It's a great little relationship that we have with Line Tax Service. They are a premier tax and accounting firm working with clients nationwide. So you have to ask yourself, how do you prepare your taxes? Do you go to some slimeball accountant that you don't trust?
Probably not.
Maybe. I don't know. I hope not.
Maybe.
I hope not, but you never know. Do you go on TurboTax and try to figure out yourself? Because that's what I do.
AKA having a slimy accountant that's yourself.
Yeah, it could be.
That you
yourself.
also don't trust.
Yeah. Just so you guys know,
get things done. Not
every accountant is the same. Just like not every black belt is the same. Some accountants are.
You need someone who knows their shit.
And some of them don't. And some of them do. But Line Tax Service, they specialize in personal and business tax strategy, entity management, and consulting to increase your bottom line. If you contact them and you make a reference to the Matburn Podcast, you will get 50% off your initial service, which could save you several $100s.
That's considerable. That is quite a savings already. It might be worth it just to switch accountants just to save $300.
I thought about it.
Someone's just paying you $300 I mean, I don't know how much they're actually saving, but that's significant.
If you're a business owner, taxes can be expensive.
Yeah. You should just keep switching accountants as long as they give you 50% off. But I think Sam, the tax guy, is the only one who's pulling that little string right now.
Sam's smarter than that.
Yeah.
So contact them for a free tax return review. They will review your return with you and let you know how many opportunities you missed out on to save some money. Contact Sam, the CPA. You can reach him at www.linetax.net or 913-353-4300. Give him a call, 50% off your initial service if you mention the Matburn Podcast. Secondly, we're working with Tap Cancer Out, one of the most
prolific
charities
in Jiu-Jitsu. Really the only charity in Jiu-Jitsu that's doing really serious things. They're organized. They raise tons of money for
over $1 million
cancer research and help.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know they're the charity that they work through, but I forgot what it was.
Well, look, here's what they got going on. They're bringing their tournament series to 9 different cities this fall. So they're going to be in Raleigh. They're going to be in Atlanta, a.k.a. Hotlanta. They're going to be in Orlando, Austin, Chicago, Cincinnati, Nashville, Philadelphia, and Boston. Registration is now open, so you can check that out at tapcancerout.org. If you can't make it to the tournament, not a problem. If you want to support the cause, they have tons of high-quality gear, including gis, rash guards, hoodies, tees, hats, patches, and more at their online store. And you can check out that at that's store.tapcancerout.org. Or simply go to tapcancerout.org and click on the store button in the upper right-hand corner. All Matburn listeners get 10% off. Just use the code Matburn and give them a follow at tapcancerout on Instagram.
Yeah. And for those people, some people are kind of weird about charities. They're like, oh, well, who is the money going to? How does the organization run? Obviously, you're taking money, but it's like they're a non-profit organization and they do really good work, guys.
They have a good reputation.
Obviously, they have to keep their charity company going, right? But I know these guys personally. I've met them on multiple occasions, and I've always wanted to do more work with them. And I've donated a lot of gis to their cause one time I donated a bunch of gis to their cause.
Well, that's probably the most donating you've ever done, hasn't it?
No, I donate for cancer, especially. I like to help out when I can. I feel like it's just so prevalent, dude. Like everyone gets cancer at some point. It seems like
you have a cancer cell in your body right now. I bet.
Probably, dude.
You do. It's a fact.
I'm gonna hunt that guy down and kill him.
Get him.
But you got to support, dude, because it could be any one of us one day.
It's a worthy cause, guys, and everyone's affected by cancer. My grandmother was a breast cancer survivor before she passed away.
My own father was a cancer survivor.
Yeah, so support the cause, guys.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's good. That's what we do in the jiu-jitsu world. We support.
Yeah, and so it's cool that they work with us, and we're happy to support them, and vice versa. So check them out, guys. And then that's it for your end of the sponsor deal, right?
That's it for me.
Let me tell you guys something real fast.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Tell you a way to help yourself.
How can I help myself?
So Josh,
what?
When was the last time you got a massage?
Yesterday, 12 hours ago.
Bro, that's expensive though, right?
It was. I paid $120.
What if I told you you could get similar benefits, if not even greater benefit, from yoga? I've personally found that yoga has helped me recover from a series of injuries, a series of serious serial injuries.
Like your neck?
Yeah, injuries I've sustained while eating cereal. My neck in particular.
From always hanging your head in shame?
Hanging my head, video games, sitting at a desk.
Staring at your cell phone in your lap?
Staring at my cell phone neck. Regardless of the situation, if you have tight muscles and massage or whatever sort of recovery you may already be doing is expensive, or you don't have time to do it, and you kind of just suffer through it, and you just wake up in pain and you just deal with it. And that's how a lot of people go through their whole lives. There's a great resource that you can use, and the resource is called Yoga for BJJ, and you can find it on yogaforbjj.net, and they have these really awesome programs specifically designed for jiu-jitsu guys and girls to help. I don't know if it bends like that. Kind of.
Just let me do what I'm doing.
Okay. For jiu-jitsu guys and girls to help with the issues that come from jiu-jitsu. It's run by a jiu-jitsu black belt named Sebastian, and he's really knowledgeable in the sport of jiu-jitsu as well as yoga. And his personal journey of recovering from a serious back injury led him to yoga, and he began to master it, and has henceforth created this online system that teaches yoga to people who train jiu-jitsu in a way that makes it easy to incorporate into your warm-ups, into your drilling, into your just day-to-day life on the mat, without having to go to a full yoga class where you're not really sure what to do, and you have to bring a yoga mat, and like you're around a bunch of people that know the poses and have way better flexibility than you. It can be difficult to get into yoga in that scene, but if you already stretch before training, why not learn to stretch right, you know? So there's a lot of techniques and maneuvers you can use that can directly benefit your problem areas already. And the site even has it categorized by body part in some cases, or by athletic type in some situations too. They have a section called Yoga for Rocks, for instance, for people who are really, really inflexible already and maybe can't even do some of the basic yoga poses. They have it's a great like beginner's course for people. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, which it really should interest everyone who has any sort of inflexibility, you can get a 10% discount using the coupon code Matburn with a capital M and no space. It's just Matburn, no spaces. You can get 10% off, and that supports our podcast as well. We work with them closely, and they're also just our personal friends, and so we want to support them, and they're supporting us, and you guys can benefit from it.
Yoga for BJJ.net.
It's .net.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I have a charity shout out.
Okay.
It's a charity shout out because they're not actually sponsoring us, and I just want to help support their cause.
Oh, I see. Who is it?
The We Defy Foundation.
What is that? So
they basically pay the membership fees for combat veterans or disabled veterans to train jiu-jitsu. And that's it. Yeah, because they need to train because, they probably saw some shit that sucked and maybe they have a hard time processing that. And as you know, jiu-jitsu is a great way to kind of get in your flow state and meditation
Get
zone.
Away from those sort of bad thoughts, toxic feelings and thoughts for sure.
Helping veterans focus on jiu-jitsu instead of focusing on some bullshit that they had to see that they can't unsee.
Cool. And where can people go help out with that
I have no idea. It's the We Defy Foundation. I think
what's it called?
We Defy.
We Defy.
Yeah, We Defy.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, check them out.
Check them out, guys. We Defy.
The We Defy Foundation.
That concludes our sponsors. And back now to the Craig Jones Podcast.
Don't call it the Craig Jones Podcast. It's the Matburn Podcast, and we have Craig Jones with us today.
Bro, the podcast is whoever is on the podcast that day. That's why it's the Keenan Podcast most of the time.
Get the fuck out of here.
There you
Boom.
go.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the Matburn Podcast, episode 10, with your host, Josh Hanger, and sometimes maybe assistant.
Also, guys, I brought you Bang energy drinks.
I saw that.
You don't have to, but these will get you amped.
I'm not even mad that you interrupt me.
I know.
Because you gave me a drink.
Yep, I brought them this time.
So, guys, episode 10. You didn't let me finish saying your name the way it needs to be said. Keenus.
Say it right, bro.
Kenneth Cornelius. And because it's episode 10, we have a very special guest today. our first guest from the outside world to the worm nest. We have the famous Craig Jones.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
I think I have an applause thing in here somewhere.
Yeah, get the applause. Come on, applause.
Hey, I like it.
We're legit here.
So, Craig, we have you for like an hour.
Yep.
So we need lots of information from you.
Can I start? I have some questions for Craig.
Let's go.
I want to know. I mean, we can just get right into it, right?
Just dive into it.
I want to know how you got started in jiu-jitsu, because you started a little later than a lot of other people, right? You started in your early 20s or younger.
Right. I started back when I was 15.
Oh, so no, you started young then too.
But
Okay.
it was like my coach was a white belt, like a city without much jiu-jitsu. So until about 21, until I actually started traveling to the States, I probably only trained 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
It was just nothing going on.
What were you working on back then? Did you have a job, or you were just in school, just fucking around? What was young Craig up to?
What was I up to? I was in school.
Causing trouble.
I was doing a psychology degree. I finished a bachelor's, but
Oh, nice.
I did not really put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
So now I'm really just paying off that debt. Wow.
Hey, me too.
Rory, are you good over there?
Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry.
You sure? You're just distracting me, man.
I don't know which ways to turn it to make it
It's
tight.
righty tighty, bro. Lefty loosey. I got it.
I know, but it's up. It's inverted.
What have you done?
See, you fucked it up. No, I was going to ask you, Craig, about your education. So you have a bachelor's degree.
A bachelor's, yeah.
Right, psychology.
Psychology.
And jiu-jitsu is all about psychology. So that's why you're so damn good at it.
Well,
Is
I
it?
mean, a lot of guys in jiu-jitsu probably need to see a psychologist more than
That's why we do jiu-jitsu. Because we all have some fucked up shit in our head that we're trying to deal with.
yeah, basically.
Especially Keenan.
Dude, I'm straight as an arrow. What are you talking about?
That's true.
I feel like I'm one of the most
Level-headed.
level-headed, yeah, of all the jiu-jitsu guys.
Who's the least level-headed?
Ooh.
Good question. Probably Gordon.
That's true, actually. Yeah,
He's
you're
a hot
probably
mess.
right.
He's a hot mess.
Well, that's got to be so weird for Gordon to just be so ridiculously overconfident that it borderlines on delusion. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like basically he's at that point, but he's got the talent to meet that delusion at the same time. But it's like he's riding the edge.
Well, it's kind of like Ted Adair.
What about him?
He was amazing at jiu-jitsu, but he was kind of nuts.
Yeah, but Gordon, like in person, he's not nuts. He's like kind of quiet, honestly.
I know, which makes it more weird
Yeah,
that he's so bipolar. His two personalities.
yeah.
He even went on Flow Grappling this morning and told everyone that he would finish me in a front headlock position because he was offended that someone liked my front headlock control.
Really?
And then Gordon felt the need to tell everyone that he will finish me with front headlock control.
I mean, he might, bro. You better watch out.
I never claimed to be good at defending guillotines. I'm just good at giving them.
You are good at giving.
I'm
them.
a classic, like dish it out, but you can't take it.
Speaking of which, have you two ever competed against each other?
No, we were supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
And then I backed out.
I told Craig it was because of your glass ankles. You didn't want any of that.
I'm not afraid of. No, the guy that I beat at the trials was.
Bro,
a
you're
monster.
afraid of leg locks. Just be honest.
I'm not afraid of them.
You're definitely
the guy that took second at the trials was a monster leg locker.
Stanley,
Really?
yeah. Stanley leg locks me, that bastard.
Man, he hooked the whole division. He ran through everyone. Got Roberto Jimenez in like 30 seconds.
Dang. There were some serious dark horses at that event. There were some guys who looked really good. And that's where Nicky Rod was. That was like his first kind of debut thing. People were like, who the hell is this massive dude?
Yeah.
That's
He's
a
fast.
He's a scary guy.
He's got the Bushesha thing going on where he's just huge and super fast.
Yeah. I wish we had seen him like start at 15, you know?
I'm glad he didn't, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's like honestly not fair. He's like the only real athlete in jiu-jitsu, I feel like. He's like
he's
the
an
most
athlete.
athletic human.
He's a fucking
He
athlete.
probably has the title for most athletic human in jiu-jitsu, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Usually guys that are that good at athlete have gone to something that makes them more money.
Yeah.
WWE.
Well, right. He was going to do that, right? He
Yes.
was going to go do some WWE. He messaged me one time where I asked him what he was doing in Miami. He said he was trying out for WWE. He would be great. Like he'd be perfect for it.
Yeah, he's got that physique.
Yeah, I hope he gets it.
Got a lot of tattoos.
The personality.
Yeah. He's a nice kid too.
Would either one of you guys go into WWE for the right paycheck?
Oh, for sure.
You
You
gotta
wouldn't
wear-
take much money at all.
You gotta wear the leather boots.
I've already got the leopard print outfits.
Yeah, you gotta have the wildest
I feel
outfit.
you've been priming yourself for it.
I'm
You're
looking
getting
for
up
a
there,
way
dude.
out. Jiu-jitsu's too hard.
That's funny. So in Australia, when did you decide to start training jiu-jitsu full time and make it be your life?
Probably full time when I moved to Melbourne. So probably, what was that? 2015 was when I gave up any form of work and just tried to live off jiu-jitsu.
That's so crazy because it's like that wasn't long ago at all. And you've done a lot in that time.
Yeah.
It's crazy what some dedicated effort can get you, you know?
Yeah, trying to make up for lost time, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, me too. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has things.
Before I get too old.
Yeah. You're an extreme example. But you started young too. You started in your early 20s. You just didn't really like take it super serious for a long time.
I was like Craig. I was trying to go to school and get smart.
Yeah.
And then I realized being smart's not that cool. Way better to choke people.
Right.
That's for sure.
And was there a point in your life where you were kind of like on the fence about if you could make it in jiu-jitsu and you're kind of hesitant about it and you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it? Or did you kind of feel like, you know what, normal life's not really my thing, I think I can make it in jiu-jitsu? Or was it, what was the thought process there?
I'm probably still like that now. I'm probably still considering
going
back to a normal life.
Right.
I'm a couple embarrassing losses away from going back.
Oh, God.
No, shut the fuck up.
Dude, the crazy thing about jiu-jitsu that I've noticed, and coming from someone who's lost a lot, personally, I feel like people don't notice when you lose. It's like people are the overall jiu-jitsu community, as toxic as they can be towards Josh, they're really nice towards most of us. And when you lose, it's kind of like your fans will always make excuses for you, so you don't have to.
Right.
You know,
They're like family.
yeah,
Your
they're just
family's
kind of
gonna
like,
love
oh,
you.
next time he'll get him with this, or there was like they always just are like the refs this, you know, that was bullshit, blah blah blah. No one cares. Like,
It's true. Yeah.
no one talks about when Marcelo got Kimura'd in like 30 seconds by Jacare.
Right.
Like most people don't even know that happened. They just notice the highlights because people go on YouTube and they just watch. They want to see the cool shit.
Because it doesn't matter if you win or lose, people just like watching you.
Yeah, like you were telling me about one of your matches that you lost. I don't remember who we were talking about, but I didn't even remember it. Like my memory of all your matches is just the badass stuff you've done.
The highlight reel stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers me triangling Murillo, but
Of
they
course.
forget about me losing to him by points the next cassette.
Right, exactly, because it's like the people forget about the boring stuff because that was like kind of a boring match, right?
Terrible
No, yeah,
match.
no one even cares. But like you've done some really awesome shit too, and like that people kind of base you by like your peak. They like base their how they feel about you off your peak stuff. So as long as you're out there just doing cool shit every once in a while, that's kind of all it takes.
Because everyone in the world has failures, and not everyone in the world has massive, huge successes.
Right. Well, that's how success is, right? It's like a lot of failure, and then you have like some success, and then a lot
But
of failure.
Yeah, but some people just have all failure.
If you're too good, they remember your failures. Gordon Ryan.
Oh,
Good point.
He gets
good
reminded
point.
of Felipe
That's
Pena
true, yeah.
every day.
That's true. I remind him every day too. Like I have to remind him.
So you had on that question that I had on my list also.
Oh, what was it?
Well, someone asked how to make money in jiu-jitsu if you can't be a world champion. And
Yeah.
neither one of us are world champions. And I don't know, Craig, what do you got?
Are you a world champion,
world
yet,
champion?
Craig?
I don't have any accomplishments at all, really. Just the
You're just the wicked super fighter,
yeah,
right?
just the super.
That's
just
your thing.
Make some highlight reels, take some super fights.
You don't do tournaments almost ever, huh?
I did Nogi Worlds. Was it last year? Last year, no, the year before, and I lost to Charles Negromonte. So that was the end of my tournament rounds.
2017?
2017, yeah.
Okay, I did that. I was at middleweight. That's what you were in 2017 in his division,
Really?
right?
I don't know if maybe I didn't fight that year.
That's the year you beat Murillo in the finals.
You were we were in the same division?
Yeah, I was out first round though.
Oh shit. I trained
Oh, you were there?
I went and trained with that guy.
I remember seeing you in the warm-up area.
I went and trained with him before our match at Polaris. And I didn't know that he had beat you, but he like thought that I came there to train because he had beat you, and he was like telling me like how he beat you and stuff.
really?
Yeah, giving me tips. It didn't work.
Charles was my finals match in 2016.
He's tough, man.
He's super tough.
There's a couple guys over at Hodgers that are really tough. But back to your question, yeah, Craig's kind of carved out a niche for himself, and it's really just
It's niche.
really.
I don't know.
I think it's
Craig?
niche. I think it's
I don't
like
know, I'm
tomato
Australian.
tomato. Yeah, what does he know, dude? I can't pronounce anything right. But what was I saying?
About making money in jiu-jitsu if you're not a world champion.
Oh yeah, like
How do you make money in jiu-jitsu without being a black belt world champion?
well, what's crazy is Craig and Gordon, they all pull it off without doing gi. And I think it's because no gi is so much more about super fights. So like you're getting paid every fight that you compete in, basically. Whereas the gi guys, they do so many bracketed events that are like the prize money is, hit or miss. You might get it, you might not.
It's not very much.
And I think we talked about this before. It's like at a certain point, we're competitors, but we're really teachers that compete to show that our moves work,
Yeah, for sure. Like you were the worm guard. I guess I got to put out a leg lock DVD before John did, so that definitely helped my sales a lot.
Right.
On Grappler's Guide, right?
I did some on Grappler's Guide and some with Fanatics.
Fanatics.
It was something down under, leg locks from down under.
leg locks
That was
down
the first
under,
one. Yeah.
But like basically, sorry.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say I didn't get to watch that one.
I don't want to interrupt you or anything.
It's all good, dude. You owe me
that never happens.
You owe me a few interruptions, I think.
No, basically, as far as I understand, Craig just travels the world, does super fights, and does seminars.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what you do. That's your MO.
Yeah, pretty much right now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't we all kind of want to be able to just get paid to train?
That would be the
Wouldn't
dream,
it be like that's the thing. The people think that, I mean, seminars are pretty easy money, right?
You mean no competing?
No, you can compete and
Okay.
train. Like basically we're competitors and we're athletes, but to get paid, we still have to work in some capacity. And that usually comes through the form of teaching. And I think a lot of people who train jiu-jitsu that wonder about how competitors make money, they don't realize that the teaching part takes away from the training. Like Craig, how many seminars did you do last year?
75.
75 seminars. So is that
Dang.
I didn't train much last year, to be honest.
that's like 5
You just train at
seminars.
the seminars. You just
Try
gotta,
to.
you gotta roll with the students
But those are the most dangerous training partners.
because they try to kill you.
That's over 5 seminars a month, right?
Yeah, far too many.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't-
52 weeks in a year.
That's insane.
No, you basically just doubled up on the weekends, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I did one stint in the UK where I did 20 seminars in 21 days.
One seminar a day.
I was ready to kill myself.
What did you do for that one day off? What was that?
I competed against Denise Grapple Fest.
Bro, you're a monster.
Damn. I did 11 seminars in 11 days once. That was pretty brutal. That's how I trained for 2014 Nogi Worlds, I think, or 2015 Nogi Worlds or something.
Actually, when I was in Australia with Galval, we did 5 seminars in 5 days, and that almost killed me.
It's brutal, right?
5
Yeah.
seminars in 5 days, and I almost died.
I bet at a certain point, it kind of starts to feel like you're just going to training the next day, but the travel in between's got to be insane.
That's the worst part. And the hard part is, like, you do a seminar, guys want to take you out to eat and hang out afterwards. But
Yeah.
if you have to catch an early flight or something to the next seminar.
Yes.
That's one of the
It's the
unspoken
hardest part.
things that's hard is like having to talk to people. And of course, you don't want to be rude. Like these people are helping you out, you know? I mean, it's a mutually beneficial thing, but everyone wants to take you out to eat, but it's like, bro,
I
like,
wanted sleep.
I kind of just want to be by myself.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part to communicate with people.
I was actually going to tell you that I found in this past couple of years that I'm turning into you.
Really?
Aside from my unstoppable lapel guard,
Yeah.
I don't like talking to people.
Really?
I
feel like I'm getting more social.
I feel like I'm becoming less social.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
Are you a talker on the mats, Craig? Like after training, do you hang out or you just dip?
Depends how bad that training session went for me, I think.
Really?
I'm feeling good. I like to spend more time on the mats. If it
Yeah.
was an embarrassing session, I'm out of that straight away.
Dude, I'm off the mats like instantly.
Keenan doesn't even stick
Actually,
around for the group handshakes.
He did, yes.
I skip pictures,
We
everything.
trained at Boogie's school, and we took one team photo, and then the whole crew, and then we wanted to take a black belt one, and I was like, "Where's Keenan?"
I was already gone.
Vanished.
I was in my car on the highway home already.
He just drops that smoke bomb.
I don't know why. I just don't like to hang out. I think it's just being covered in sweat. I'm just not into it.
Yeah. Showering as soon as possible is always nice.
But I get real chatty during drilling. If you drill with me, we won't get any drilling done. I just talk the whole time.
It's super true.
Talk through the warm ups.
Yeah, I talked through the warm-ups. You kept getting away from me in the warm-ups. I wanted to keep talking to you, but you kept like putting people between us as like a conversation barrier. Like, get back here, Craig. I'm not done telling you about my life, all my plans for the future.
Those guys were sneaking in front.
Yeah, dude, that was good. They have good training over there. Actually, we did like 30 minutes of live drilling from
Boogie.
positions. Yeah,
Yeah.
So we did like EBI style overtime for warm-ups. So you start from the arm bar, back control.
That's why they're so good at it. They probably practice it every day.
Yeah, that's their home sport.
So warm up.
Yeah, that's their rule set, man.
Starting spider web.
That's a horrible spot to start.
Actually, I did the best with spiderweb when I was on EBI. I finished 2 guys from the spiderweb finish, and then I tried to take Gary's back in the finals, and then I lost.
Yeah, what do you opt for when you did EBI?
The back for sure. I feel like the shorter you are, maybe the better spiderweb position is, but the longer you are, I feel like it leaves the back. Well, taking the back's easier with longer legs.
I was just gonna say, bro, your arms are so long, you can just wrap them around the face and just squeeze the fuck out of it. I can't do that. My fingers won't reach. I'll put my fingertips on my bicep.
The biceps are too big. That's your problem.
No, the arms are too short. That's the problem. But when I start in the spiderweb, yeah, I had a lot of success. Keenan's never done EBI rules. Huh?
Yeah, I've always avoided it. Because for a long time I had never been submitted in competition. I think I'd been submitted once at purple belt, but I hadn't been submitted for a long time, and so I didn't. like the idea that someone's going to start on my back or with like an arm bar, and I was like, it doesn't seem worth it to.
It's not a real submission. Don't worry.
Yeah, but it's like I know it's not. It doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
But it does too. At the same time, you know?
I've lost every overtime round I've ever done.
Seriously.
Is that
pretty
true?
Much, pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
You just gave away a huge secret to the competition world.
No matter what format of overtime it is, could it be a golden score? Could it be?
I guess you do have a hard time, huh? Because you just the Mateus match, was that your most recent fight, or was that?
That was actually I faced Rumble and Tex Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Prior to that was Mateus. Yeah.
Damn, you fight a lot, dude.
The reason he had to fight Mateus is because Mateus replaced me because that was supposed to be my match with Craig.
Right.
And what happened was the event promoters, we had settled on a date, and then I built my seminars around that date, and then they changed the date. So I had to back out, and I couldn't cancel my seminar. It was a double seminar weekend, so. Yeah, I feel bad about that.
You can tell us the real reason, bro. You don't have to.
Well, I would like to hear the real reason about why you ran away from our division.
Because both you guys are too good, dude. Clearly. I need to go get revenge against Gordon, obviously.
I'm wondering, is that really it?
No, it's because I'm too
'Cause you're
fat,
fat,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, ask Craig.
You are big right now.
Bro,
little
you're
bigger.
big too, Craig.
Nah, he's slimmed up, dude. You should have seen him at Polaris. You're twice this size.
He's got about 20 pounds on me right now.
Nah.
What are you looking at right now?
He's light,
In
dude.
pounds.
195.
Oh, you're 195. Nice.
He's already on weight.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I was big, and then I started cutting, and I just felt like shit, and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm just gonna fight comfortable. I'd never cut for IBJJF, so I don't see the point of cutting for ADCC.
I don't
either.
cut for anything ever. Done cutting. Too old for that.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Sucks. It takes all the fun out of it.
It's the worst part of the whole
What's
the
the
whole thing.
What's the most you've ever cut for a tournament or a match?
I think 20 pounds.
20.
I did for the Mateus Lutez match. I did 20 pounds in 2 days.
Oh my god.
It was pretty rough. Yeah.
Oh my god.
How do you even pull that off?
Yeah. What the
Sauna?
fuck?
Just a lot of sauna, sweatsuit type deal.
Yeah, a lot of sweating. But we were in Puerto Rico, so it was the humidity was
That
taking
helps.
it off me a lot, and then I just had to maintain that.
How did you feel? Did you compete well?
I felt all right. After I weighed in, though, and loaded up on breakfast, I almost shit my pants. But apart from that, I felt pretty damn good.
Do you feel like because you compete in super fights and they're individual matches, you probably don't feel burn out too much from competing, do you? Because like I feel like the bracketed tournaments where you go and it's like an entire 9 hours of competing.
You can have 8 matches.
Yeah, you get it wears you out mentally.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe a super fight is a little easier on your mentality. Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, definitely easier. And it's easier mentally when you're like, I only have one opponent. I can
Right.
think about what to do with that opponent
Right.
rather than have to take on the whole bracket.
Yeah, I think it can let you focus on your training to be specifically for that opponent too. Whereas in a bracketed thing, you don't never know who you're going to face really.
So what's your advice for me against this weekend against Mateus?
Against Mateus?
I mean, I've fought him before too, but
you've beat him 2 times already, right?
yeah, Nogi Worlds both times in the semifinals.
You got to do the same thing.
But it was always close, man. It's never an easy match. Like it's always super close.
What did you hit a slide by last time to the back?
I did the duck under to the back.
Duck under the back,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's got a bunch of points. But
And then he almost came back, right?
almost,
Yeah.
man. He was working that Japanese necktie for the last 4 minutes.
What's a Japanese necktie?
It's like when you hit the Bravo grip, right? And then you step over their back leg and you kind of fold, you curl them in half.
Oh, but you keep this grip?
You keep that Bravo grip and pinch your elbows and it creates a choke.
Miserable.
He's really good at it. It's like his favorite move. Well, I didn't see your match with him.
The match. So it was third coast rules. So it was first to 11 points or submission. So he took me down from, I almost grabbed a Kimura on him, but it was like pretty hard to clear his arm in the closed guard.
He's tight, huh?
Very tight. And then I stood back up and I almost hit another Kimura later in the match, but he conceded the sweep as time ran out to avoid getting Kimura'd. And then he hit me with a big takedown in the overtime. I shot a real ugly shot. And I was worried about because of his Japanese necktie and stuff, his front headlock. So I over postured and then he got a clean takedown on me. But yeah, he's tough, very physically strong. We've had 2 matches. The first match was terrible. I wouldn't recommend anyone watch that first match.
What would he bet?
Grapple Fest.
Okay,
We had a 15-minute match where nothing happened the entire time.
Forehead to forehead?
I was on my butt and he was in closed guard actually. So I had this strategy in my head because he was not being too aggressive at passing. So I was like, all right, I can't get him overhead. I can't get underneath. So I was like, I'll put him in closed guard. And when he stands up, I should have an entry to the legs.
Yeah.
The problem was he didn't stand up.
He stayed
And that's
right
how we spent. He was My throat was bruised the next day from him rape choking me from close guard. At one point, he looked at me and he said, "Bro, you have to open your legs for something to happen." I was like, "What's this guy?" He
said that?
Yeah, and I thought about it. I thought, wait a minute, should I open my legs?
Am I the scholar here?
Well, Keenan has a rule set for the future where if if you go into overtime, if someone can close guard or if they finish overtime in close guard, the close guard holder wins. Remember that?
I don't remember. I don't think that's what it was.
It was like episode 4.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I totally forgot. But it was. I remember it being a very smart rule set, and I forgot it already.
The point was that you favored the person with close guard as the aggressor.
Right.
And they are because they have control.
Yeah.
It's the guy in the guard who has to escape.
Yeah, I think definitely the burden of activity should be to the guy on top for sure. Because close guard is like, it's supposed to be an offensive position, but it's just so hard to get anything going from there.
Yeah,
gi and no gi.
Right.
You just can't do shit.
If the person on top doesn't want to let you do anything, it's easy. Super easy.
Okay. So before we keep talking about jiu-jitsu matches, I have a fascination with what jiu-jitsu guys do when they're not doing jiu-jitsu. Like because we only train like 2 to 4 hours a day, right? What do you do for the other 22 hours of the day, Craig?
What do? I try and rest as hard as I train. So basically...
Okay, but that's what everyone's... Like, I know you're resting, but you're doing something. Are you like an Instagrammer? Are you on Netflix?
Usually on Reddit. Browsing Reddit. Trying to see if anyone's talking shit about me on...
That's how you kill time. Yeah, me too, bro. You got to keep an eye on those guys. Someone tried to say today that Paulo Miao has a better lapel guard than me. They're like, unpopular opinion, but I think Paulo knows how to play lapel guard better than Keenan. And then it was a blue belt. Because you can see what belt they are by the flare on their account.
Yes.
And he was telling me all of the things that Paulo does better than me and how it would...
And you were responding to him?
Not yet. I've just been fuming about it all morning. I was here at 6 a.m. setting this stuff up, reading that thread and just getting so pissed off, dude. It honestly ruined my whole morning.
It was actually me that was posting that.
That makes sense.
You can't feed the trolls, man.
I didn't talk to them.
You're
but
feeding them right now when you tell them that you get upset about
here's
it.
the thing, like...
That guy, you just made that guy's day.
What is it called?
Right? That guy's listening to this.
I did. Oh, yeah.
That guy's listening to this episode now, and he's patting himself on the back.
But here's the thing about this. And he might just be trolling me, right?
You
like
think?
It could just be... No, he could be serious, too, though. You don't know. He might actually think that.
I've never seen Paulo play lapel guard.
He plays lapel guard. He just doesn't, like... It's not his full game. And that was the guy's whole point, that, like...
Okay.
He plays it, but then transitions to his other guard, too. And I only play lapel guard, apparently. Which is like kind of true, I guess. But it's just funny to me, all of the technique discussions that go on Reddit between like white belts and blue belts and purple belts. And I get that it's a discussion platform, but it also just like makes me upset that like they're spreading misinformation amongst each other, you know? Like
you think they should shut the fuck up and go train?
Yeah, I feel like when you're at that level, you can't really weigh in on the technique topics, really.
This is going to be big. Reddit's going to think you've turned on them.
Yeah, they're going to eat you alive, man.
I know, but
you're done.
But like, honestly, like if you were a purple belt, would you trust yourself?
I was never a purple belt, so I don't know.
You weren't?
I'm just kidding.
You skipped purple belt?
Yeah, basically.
I skipped blue belt.
No, the question is, did you do that when you were blue and purple?
No, I was trying to teach everyone.
You were trying to teach everyone.
Yeah,
you were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I created some beasts. There was this. I was telling Craig the other day. We were training with PJ Barch, and he lived in Hawaii after me. Like right after I left, he went to BJ Penn's. Apparently, I didn't know he was there.
PJ or Craig.
PJ, both of them. They were both there training. Out. PJ lived in Hilo and trained there, and he was roommates with my former roommate Joey Gomez. And Joey Gomez was the world's greatest white belt for a long time because of my personal instruction, where I taught him every movement that worked well against me. So like all the front headlock stuff that I was susceptible to, all the chokes, all the sweeps, all the takedowns that worked well against me. And so like from white belt, I tried to create him just to defeat me. And within 8 months, he was beating me up all the time.
Okay.
He was really good. But if you see like
Joey Gomez
is his name. Yeah. He went to MMA. I wish he had just done jiu-jitsu because he was a beast, but he's like fights MMA and he's like an oceanographer or something.
Someone asked a couple weeks ago, who's the greatest white belt of all time? So now we have an answer.
Well, the title moves a lot. It was,
of course.
It was Joey Gomez, and then it was Adrian Belcaris from Team Lloyd Irvin, who's like an enigma in itself. And then right now, I think it's Tony.
Tony?
Yeah, Tony the white belt.
Tony the white belt?
Yeah. But okay, back to my point, because I really want to make this clear to all the blue and purple belts of the world.
Tell them.
You have to be very careful showing people stuff, because there's a very, very good chance that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. But like when you teach someone a move, there's so many details that make the move work, right, Craig? And your movements, if you were just to like show someone a move at the purple belt level of understanding of it versus what you understand of it now, like a lot is lost in translation already from like an expert teaching you. So like if Craig teaches you his move, still something's going to be lost in translation and you're not going to be as good at it as him, right? If a purple belt teaches you that, you're probably going to like get 20% of what the move's capable of, right? And so when you have purple belts and blue belts like conglomerating, not taking instruction from someone who actually knows what they're talking about,
they're making photocopies of
photocopies of photocopies, bro. Right. Yeah. It's fucked up, and it makes me sad to see.
So what about the guy who lives in the Midwest and he's a purple belt and there's no one else around? He's the best guy in town.
Well, that's why Keenan Online exists.
Oh my God.
If you don't have internet
or Grappler's Guide.
What? That doesn't exist. I'm not on this podcast, Josh.
I'm now sponsored by the Grappler's Guide as an athlete. That's an athlete sponsorship.
Okay, that's great, Josh. Nice. But guess what? I just fixed up and hooked up.
What's that?
The course system I was telling you about. So now you're gonna work with me. Understand?
You got a course system.
Yeah, I got a course system. I can sell your courses now for you.
Nice. So the Hinger Team course is coming to Keenan Online.
Yep. Right when Joe gets back, we can
I'm
film
so glad that I found out about this on the podcast.
Yep.
So we're excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We're gonna have a Craig Jones section.
I would like to, but I think he's under contract with.
Are you?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it works like that.
Is that a thing?
I don't think anyone should ever sign a contract with like a production company in jiu-jitsu. There's way too many opportunities for film and stuff.
Yeah, for film or even for super fight events.
Yeah, that would be a really bad idea.
So I got tied up in one of those for 2 years, right?
The ACB saga. Yeah. Are they ever coming back?
They're still holding events, but they're not doing black belt super fights anymore. They're just doing tournaments, and they do like one super fight per tournament. But yeah, they don't.
Yeah, that exclusivity was kind of weird, but I mean, they were paying four times what everyone else is paying.
At the end of the day, I still came out on top.
You had to do it. It was an offer too good to refuse.
For sure.
Did you fight for them at all, ACB?
I didn't. They were talking about signing me, but I was glad I didn't because it was right near where they disappeared, but the guys were sort of still under contract.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten earlier. Like they tried to sign me a year earlier, and I said no. But
I said yes the second I saw that contract, I saw those numbers, I said yep.
For those of you that don't know, the ACB is they're out of Berkut.
It's called Absolute Championship Berkut.
Berkut,
and it's the Chechens that run it. Chechnya is part of Russia, so it's everyone says it's Russian, but it's not. It's Chechen. They're very different. Yeah. Chechnya tried to separate from Russia a long time ago, and
how'd that go for them?
Not so well. Russia bombed Chechnya back to the Stone Age. Ooh. But it was a war that went on for years, and I actually wrote my undergraduate thesis on that war.
Wow!
So I know all about.
So you know all about them. So no wonder you were down to sign with them.
That's why the Chechens like me. Yeah, I know their history.
Damn, you probably know it better than some of them. If you wrote a thesis on it, you really studied.
I know a lot of really dark stuff about. It was actually about war crimes. That was what the paper was about.
Wow!
So it's super dark.
So I mean, they kind of went the same route as Metamoris, though, where they almost paid too much, and then just were like, "Why are we burning all this money? Because how do we get money back? Because people don't buy pay-per-views in jiu-jitsu, apparently."
They were getting really frustrated with the lack of activity in matches because they were paying so much to win the match that the guys were doing anything to win, which means it being super boring. Because if it's like
that's interesting.
It's a large amount of money to you get a large amount of money to show up, and then another large amount of money to win. So they didn't care if they were being boring; they were trying to get that paycheck.
I wish they would come back. That'd be pretty cool.
I know that. Well, there's still 3 fights on the contract that I didn't get.
Yeah, but they released us all to go fight another event. So who knows?
I have faith, man. My fingers are crossed. Even if they just come back for one, if I get one more fight, it's worth it.
Their first event was Huffa Mendez against Kishinya, right?
Yeah. That's when it was originally called Berkut. And then they changed the name. They did 2 events, and they did Berkut 2, and that's when Gaval fought with Homolo, and he knocked him off the stage.
That's right, yeah.
And then they changed the event completely, and that's when they created the Grand Prix. They changed the name to ACB, and they did the Grand Prix in the gi and the Grand Prix no gi.
They had some crazy matches, like Edwin against Marcio Andre.
It was so good. That was the event I was on, yeah.
He was up by so many points.
Yeah.
Came back out of nowhere.
And then Edwin also beat Davi. And
Davi was huge.
Davi was ADCC champion.
That was huge, yeah.
Edwin's dangerous. You ever trained with him?
I trained with him in Puerto Rico, actually.
Yeah.
Although I feel like he's super underrated, right?
For sure. I shouldn't rat him out, though.
I don't think he's underrated.
We're in Puerto Rico for a week. He probably trained 2 times. But
oh, yeah?
No, he's super rated.
Really?
I think so.
I feel like he's much. I don't know. I feel like he's super high level though.
He's done well with
like
his
he's like
He is, yeah.
like
I think
top 10.
He's
like,
top tier for sure.
Yeah, like super good.
For sure.
just beat DJ.
Right.
Before that, beat Gianni Grippo.
Yep.
And he's a guy he doesn't like to train super hard, from what I've heard. Like he likes to train when he feels good.
You never trained with him at Homelos?
No, never trained with him.
Was he never there? Or
No, he would come in and hang out, but like he doesn't always train. But he's still a beast. And like that works for some people, like Mike Perez.
Right.
Mike Perez hates training, but he's like one of the best grapplers. You know.
It's always a hard fight.
Yeah, it's almost like the time that they're not training, they're doing like some sort of other mental training that is valuable too. You know.
Right.
You guys will have to face off pretty early, ADCC, right?
Who?
You and Perez?
I think second round.
Second round.
Yeah. I think.
Is that awkward for you in training? Do you?
No, we actually talked about it yesterday for a brief second.
What did he?
Because
What was
Coach Fred told Prez to come over and train with me, and I looked at Fred. I said, sorry, we can't do that.
Oh,
I said, me and Prez got to stay on opposite sides of the mat. And then Prez was like, no, it's cool, it's cool. He's like, but I don't want your eye infection. I was like, bro, that's not it. We just don't want to train.
So you guys trained together before ADCC?
We've trained together many times, yeah, but we haven't touched each other once since this camp started. We just kind of eyeball each other from opposite sides of the mat.
I think that's probably the best way to do it, though. Hey.
It's fine, man. It's not even awkward. It's fine.
I took the total opposite route with Keenan.
Trained with him every
I trained
day.
with him every single day, and then didn't do any of the moves I was going to do on him live, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a cheater.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. This is that cheating? Do you think that's cheating? Like, how would you feel like if if say I come to DDS and I was still in 88 and we trained together, and I have like some secret moves? I mean, my no-gi game is pretty transparent at this point, like what I do. But what if I didn't do any guard passing against you whatsoever, only played guard, and then when we go to the tournament, like I have some secret wrestling that you didn't know about? Would you feel like I'd betrayed you?
Not betrayed. I'd probably respect the decision to do it. Hey.
Yeah. Do you think you would do the same thing, and we'd both be playing like B game versus each other in training, and then when we finally get to the tournament, it'd be a totally different dynamic in the round?
I feel like my B game is so bad that you'd know I was doing that to you.
Same. Like this is hypothetical because I don't really have a B game no-gi. It's like it's A game or I just get wrecked. But I've always I feel like different cultures take it differently. Like I think a lot of the Brazilian culture, they would not be cool with that. That's like friendship over situation, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because like maybe Keenan feels weird about it. I haven't had a chance to really talk to him.
But he had the same opportunity to spam you the way you spammed him.
Spam him?
Like whatever, cheating, whatever you want to call it.
I think
like,
that's
you
wrong.
both had equal opportunity to mind fuck each other.
Right.
So
it's just
not,
another layer to the game.
It's not an advantage that you had that he didn't have. He could have done the exact same thing to you. That's why it's not cheating.
True. But I still feel guilty about it for some reason. Why?
You just did it better than he did. Or like it's like when you pull up to the red light with a car and you're racing the other car, but the other car doesn't know you're racing.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then you take off really fast and you're like, smoked
dusted
him.
that guy.
And that guy didn't even know what the fuck was going
so
on.
Keenan just had no idea the whole time that I was just plotting some secret plan to beat him at ADCC. Damn.
Exactly.
You leg locked him pretty quick, eh?
Yeah, and John Danner complimented me on my leg lock after when I walked off the mat. Yeah, he was like, Mr. Cornelius, that was a excellent outside. What did he call it? What's the term for the outside heel? Outside ashy.
Outside ashy, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
What does ashy mean?
I didn't even know the names, to be honest. I just try and...
You still don't know the names?
Still don't know the names.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes he'll say it and I'll look at him and I'll be like...
Translate.
Does he know I don't know?
Does he know?
Maybe he knows he's just fucking with you.
I get confused because they use inside senkaku as the leg entanglement. That's the leg entanglement one. But then the ashies are also leg entanglements, but it's like the single leg X position, I think.
If I was John, I would subtly change them all the time to keep people on their toes because no one would question him.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
That's
true. Yeah, that would really be confusing for everybody.
That'd be hilarious.
You could just switch from languages, right? Go to Japanese to Portuguese.
Well, that's something that a lot of camps do is they develop their own language
Eddie Bravo.
for coaching.
Eddie Bravo's famous for this.
It's a powerful coaching tool because when you go to the competition, they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
10th Planet have so many though.
Yeah. They created a unique name for every position in their system.
I feel like between each other, they might talk about a move to another guy, and the other guy will have no idea what he's talking about, but he'll just pretend, he'll play along like he understands. You know what I mean?
Like, what's the honey hole? Which one is that? In Danaher language.
That's inside senkaku.
Inside senkaku.
Yeah.
They call it honey hole.
They have the honey hole, the 411.
411. That's 10th Planet came up with 411?
I don't know. I always call it the saddle because I'm like, I want to stay neutral between Danaher's and 10th Planet. I'm like, we'll call it something in between.
So I heard Lachlan say saddle the first time.
Oh, you said saddle?
I heard the first time I heard saddle, I heard Lachlan say it.
I think I stole that from Dean Lister.
Okay.
Saddle, maybe it's a Sambo name.
Saddle makes sense.
I've heard it called the saddle as well.
I can
saddle in the honey hole. But everyone is exposed to different things because there's so few. There were so few leg lockers for a long time that every gym only had one, and they all called it something different. So we had Jimmy. Remember Jimmy Frederick?
Yeah.
He was like our resident leg locker, and everything we knew about leg locks came from his verbiage that he used in training.
I remember training with him when I used to come to Atos. And he did heel hook me back then.
He was a beast, dude. His leg locks were super legit.
Even as a purple belt, he had black belt leg locks.
Yeah, he was like a secret leg locker, dude.
Yeah. And he's so unassuming. You look at him and he just looks like a chubby, unathletic, like computer dude.
But he was like a water polo champion.
Yeah,
dude.
but his legs were strong as fuck and super flexible.
That was so weird. The flexibility. You look at him, you don't think he's going to be flexible
thick
at all.
legs, right? Super thick legs.
It's that water polo guard.
But he could put his shin under his neck if he wanted to.
Where is he these days?
L.A.
Selling commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Making the big bucks.
He doesn't train anymore?
He still trains, but not like...
He competed in the trials.
Oh, yeah, he did.
In February, he just like showed up unprepared.
I think Nicky Rod like kneed him in the chest or something.
Yeah, that's what happened,
Someone just blasted him in the chest with a knee and put him out.
I think it was either the chest or maybe...
He's got bad luck with getting hit.
It might have hit his face too, though.
That was one of the reasons he had to leave Autos because someone punched him in the face. It's a true story.
It's true.
Yeah, someone who will remain nameless. But
there was a few incidents where someone lost their cool, and
it was against Jimmy in particular. People lose their cool against Jimmy because he's like such a chill dude, and he's just like talks like a surfer bro. But then he'll just try and rip your leg off.
You had no chance to tap. Like, he grabs that heel hook, he'll rip it as hard as he can.
He'll tear your shit.
You had to tap super early. I got really mad at him a couple times because he got an inside heel hook.
But
and you
can't blame him though because he was there for all of the early ADCC camps where they were just like
they had to,
like you had to rip people's legs off or they weren't tapping.
So it was Josh that hit him, right?
It was
It wasn't. No, I have not punched anyone. That's not true.
You have punched someone?
I hit Nassar one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You almost got in a fist fight with Connor too one day. Remember Connor when he finally stood up to you? You know, I was coaching him for that.
He didn't stand up to me.
He stood up to you. So let me tell Craig the story. Okay. Before you hear your side. You can counteract. Okay. So there, you know Connor DeAngelis? Have you heard of him?
He's like lives in the van, right?
Yeah, he lives in the van. Yeah. So
Van Boys.
He's a super tough kid, and he was a purple belt. He came to Autos like 3 years ago, and Josh always had a really hard time against his guard.
Not true at all.
So no, but you're not the only one.
I'm not even going to let you say that. That's not true.
You can interject and put your points at the end. Just let me give my side of the story.
The story is already completely off track.
Bro, everyone knows you have a hard time with open spider guard style. Okay, it's not no secret.
Just as long as I get a rebuttal.
You can rebuttal as much as you want.
Go ahead.
But so Connor and Pete were two people that Josh just kind of just like beefed with all the time because they gave him a hard time. And that's not to say he wouldn't beat them. Josh would beat them, obviously. Josh is more experienced and more skilled because he's a black belt. But there were days where Josh would be grumpy, as Josh gets most of the time. He's just grumpy on the mats. And Connor would give him a really hard time. And Connor's legs are fucking strong. And he's got a really good guard similar to yours, sort of like a Z-guard style thing, and he does this thing with his leg. It's like, we call it Connor guard, but he does this thing with his leg that's really hard to pass. And Josh started just like being mean to him all the time. Like not during training, but like when they'd get off the mats, there'd just be this like tension, and Josh would just kind of like talk shit to him all the time off the mats. And Connor's like kind of get sad about it, and he'd be like, he would be like bummed out that Josh was mean to him. But
not true. So
I started coaching Connor. I was like, Connor, you can't let him talk to you that way. You got to stand up to him. And I'd like hype Connor up, and Connor would be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that guy. I'm going to fuck him up next time. And Connor's like a really pretty chill kid. He doesn't like non-confrontational, but I was just in his ear just after training every single day. I was like, you're going to get Josh one day for what he's done to you. And Connor's like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to get him one day. And like,
okay, everyone knows this.
It's not over. It's not over. And then the final showdown happened one day where Josh couldn't pass Connor's guard. I think it was Nogi too, so it stung especially deep that day. And Josh like yelled at Connor and like got up and just like yelled at him, like said something like, "You're stalling." He always accuses people of stalling.
Oh my god!
Whenever he can't pass someone's guard, he always accuses them of stalling. And then I looked at Connor and we made eye contact, and he kind of gave me like the nod, like today's the day. Like I'm gonna stand up to my bully. And he gets up and they like face off. And Connor's like, he said something really dramatic, like, You're not going to bully me anymore. And Josh, like in classic bully mentality, kind of backed down, and he was kind of like, "Oh shit!" And then Connor had his respect, and ever since that day, it's been squashed. And I take full responsibility for the entire.
That is a 100% fictional story.
100%.
100% fictional.
10%.
First of all, okay. First of all, we were training in the gi. Okay, and it happened over 2 days. He had a footlock, and he was literally like Jimmy style, trying to rip my foot off, like ripping his whole body, like in a spasm kind of motion, right? And it was like fully extended, right? Like I just wasn't tapping out of stubbornness, right? I was like, I'm not gonna tap to this fucking kid. You're gonna break my foot. And he's just like really getting really jerky with it, you know. And when someone gets jerky with your footlocks, like I just think it's rude. Like that's how you can hurt someone really bad. It's like when you start
glass ankles.
I didn't even tap, bro. Huh? So anyways, I just looked at him and I said, "Man, why are you trying to hurt me?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to go for the submission." I said,
that's the thing, dude.
Is that
leg lock wouldn't have hurt anyone else. It just hurt you because you have a lot of pain sensors in your ankles.
Let me finish. So I just told him, I said, "Okay, I'll remember this next time I get a submission." That's what I said. I said, "Remember this." And he looked at me and he shrugged his shoulders.
Oh,
right. Shit. And so the day ended. I escaped the footlock. We finished training. The next day we come back. And we're having a really good training session again, and I grab a Kimura and I rip it. I just rip it, but I didn't hurt him. I didn't even try to hurt him. But you can rip something really fast, and the second you pass it across their hip line, you cannot continue. So I ripped it for the first half, and I scared the fuck out of him. And he yelped. And he said, "Bro, why are you always trying to hurt me?" And he started getting emotional, and I was really angry because I was like, "I told you. Next time I get a submission, I'm gonna rip it the way you're ripping on my ankles." And you shrugged your shoulders at me. So what? And I was like, "I didn't even hurt you. Are you hurt?" And he's like, "You're always trying to pick on me." And I was like, "I told you yesterday what was gonna happen, and today it happened, and now you're upset about it."
Okay, you were not that calm when this happened.
Right? No. I definitely shoved him.
You shoved him. And he was literally yelling during this entire.
I definitely
ordeal.
shoved him because I was mad that he's just like my mind was blown that he did not remember what had happened the day before. And he was so surprised by it.
We need to have a poll to see which story people believe.
Yeah. It's a combination of the two, I would say. But
I apologized like 10 minutes later, and I gave him a hug, and I said, "Man, I'm sorry. Like, I lost, I was just I got in the moment,
But to this day, Connor can't be bullied anymore. He's bully proof now due to my verbal judo system that I've implemented into his game. I used to bully Connor. I can't even bully him anymore ever since I taught him how to stand up to his oppressor.
I knew you were going to say oppressor. No,
dude, you're always bullying people. You bully Andy Murasaki too, dude. You better fucking chill out before I'm going to come over there. Handle it.
Okay, bro. I don't bully anyone.
Have you ever had any instances where you get into a beef with someone on the mat?
Great question.
I never really get angry on the mats. Hey.
Right, but do people get angry at you? Like you're going to encounter someone who gets I
feel like I'm pretty gentle to train with.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to get mad yesterday over a certain submission, but...
What'd you get him with?
Oh, you mean when I submitted you from bottom mount with the... So we're rolling. We're having a super hard round and
We'll set the story. You guys are where?
We're at Studio 540.
Okay.
So we were training there yesterday, me and Craig, and we were kind of wrestling. Me and Craig, we've had 2 fights now. The first fight I won. The second fight he won. And I think it's kind of come to a point now where we're kind of whoever wrestles better would win in a situation. That's just where we're at, I think.
Wait, you was Third Coast? Where you guys?
Polaris.
And
he
you
beat
won
me.
at ADCC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were wrestling, and we're feeling out each other's wrestling. We have a very similar wrestling style. We just Uchimata basically.
Yeah, neither of us
we don't shoot, and we Uchimata, and it's identical.
Because you have the same body type.
Yeah, it just works. So we were wrestling, and I finally got a takedown or something. I got to a body lock or something, and I got him down, and I was like, yes, I got this. I won the wrestling match. I would have won this fight, because I always frame things it's a
Polaris.
Fight. No. So listen. So then I'm there, and he kind of goes flat to his back, which you guys do all the time, and you're supposed to turn away, just turn away from me so I can try and take your back. But he goes flat to his back, and I'm like, that's weird. Okay. And so I put shoulder pressure and start trying to go to mount, and I feel his arm come around the back of my head, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? Headlock me? Okay. And then I drive my knee across, and as my knee's coming across to mount, I feel his other hand come under my neck, and it's on this side, and I'm like, this isn't going to be a big deal. So I kind of put my hand there and block it and go to mount. And then the next thing I know, it gets all the way across. And he's got a full-on front naked choke on me. And then he does this thing with his hand. he puts his hand underneath the armpit. He said that's the secret detail. He puts his hand
So you
underneath the
can't
armpit.
peel it off.
And so I didn't respect it, and I didn't like immediately just grab his pinky and rip it like I do with you. So instead of like trying to defend it the cheap way, which I would have done if I'd known it was going to tap me, he just fucking choked me, dude, from bottom out. And it was a low moment of my life.
Bear Yoshida tried the exact same thing on me.
He's done it to me before.
Yeah, has he? Yeah. It was like I didn't at first. I was like, no, and then I was like, wait a second, like maybe.
But then he tells me he's been doing that forever. That's like his go-to submission
The
from
best
bottom
is,
mount.
If you want to get it, you go for a real shitty one that they defend early. But then afterwards in their head, they're thinking that would never have worked. And the second one, you slap it.
I felt that because it felt shitty, dude. It literally felt like a shitty choke. And I was like, that was my thought process. I was like, what is this shitty choke that he's doing to me? And then it became the opposite of shitty, like in a matter of half a second, less than half a second.
Gotcha.
Now, I don't get mad in training. I just forget about it. I already forgotten, honestly. I thought I tapped you.
Yeah, I think you definitely won the rest of the rounds.
No. But
that's the trick, is to live in a world of delusion.
Seriously, dude, I did that for a long time. Like for a long time, I could never remember when I got tapped in training. Like my mind would just block it out.
Because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it does a little sometimes.
Okay, maybe if it's a visitor, if it's not someone from your team or your academy.
I don't know. I keep track of our matches. What happens?
That's because you're not on my team anymore. We're frenemies now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought we were just friends. I didn't realize we had an enemy thing going on.
Frenemies. I put it on our. I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Better shut up.
Craig, why do you hate training in a gi?
Let's get down to the real problem.
That's what Keenan really wants
Why
to
would
know.
you ignore 50% of jiu-jitsu?
50%.
That's what I want to know. Probably more than 50%. I think more people train gi.
Yeah, well, I trained the gi until I got my black belt. But
okay.
It really just wasn't happening for me. You know what I mean? I came down, trained with you guys. I did Atos camps and stuff. But
I remember when you were a purple belt.
Purple belt, yeah.
Yeah, and you had your girlfriend with you at the time?
At the time, yeah.
She was missing that one tooth?
She was missing a tooth. I didn't take that tooth.
You got to clarify. Just so everyone knows, I did not hit her. I did not.
No, I think she lost at training, right? Like she got kneed.
Yeah, someone, what was it? She was trying to pass Spider Guard, and the guy threw in a lasso but missed and
clipped her foot, her
front of the tooth,
the heel to the tooth.
Straight in there, yeah.
Do you still talk to her?
We don't talk anymore.
No? Okay,
no.
so it's okay that we're talking about her now?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, she was missing a tooth. Demi, I think, was her name.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Demi, yeah.
She was good.
I forgot about her.
Well, I remember you. I remember us training together, and I remember your guard was super fucking annoying, even when you were a purple belt. I was a black belt. You were a purple belt.
He did the Connor treatment to me back then.
No, shut up. I was nobody. That was like 2014. I had just arrived in San Diego, and I was like super nice to everyone because I was the new guy.
I came in.
That lasted a long time.
I knew. I set that up for you.
So I have a question.
Wait, Craig was going to say something.
Okay, go
I was
ahead.
going to say I just had one move back then in the gi.
Triangle.
The triangle, yeah.
Yeah.
Zika, grab the belt, go for a triangle.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
So was it a conscious decision for you to switch to full no-gi, or was it just like you enjoyed no-gi more, and so you just trained it more, and then it just happened?
I guess when I was training and competing in the gi, I would have to pay my own way all the time. And then after a certain point in no-gi, these opportunities started coming where they'd be like, oh, we'll pay you to show up, we'll fly you out. And obviously flying from Australia, if I can get that flight for free, it's going to make a big difference. And
that's a miserable flight.
It's horrible. I've done that so many times now.
How many you think?
I was calculating my flight statistics yesterday for the last couple of years, and I had the equivalent distance of flying to the moon.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? It's like 1 million miles or
That's
something.
impressive.
That was like 250,000 miles.
Every time you fly to like London from Australia, it's 24 hours of flying.
Oh my God.
LA, 16 hours.
Yikes.
London to Sydney, 24 hours?
24 hours, one layover, yeah.
Do you have a loyalty program to a certain airline, or?
I try and get them with everyone, but obviously sometimes if the Superfight show pays for your fly, you don't get a pick. Pick which airline.
Right.
You should tell them to just reimburse you for the flight cost.
That'd be a better way
so
to
you
do
can
it, yeah.
collect those miles.
Right.
That adds up.
But I think they like to collect the miles too.
But that's not up to them. Like if they're flying Craig out.
Is it though?
I would suggest, Craig, get a loyalty program to a certain airline, and then when they want to, this is pro tip, dude. I do this, and it really helps.
I agree.
So you get a loyalty program. I use United, and then when someone wants to fly you somewhere, you say, "Hey, here's a ticket for this. Can you match? Like, how much would your ticket be that you would buy me versus the ticket that I buy with my loyalty, and then I cover the difference.
Yeah.
Because the miles you get are like you get a ton of free flights.
Especially if you get upgrades, that's definitely worth it.
Yeah. And then you can get cheap upgrades too. Like at the airports, it can be like $200-$300 to get to business class on a 24-hour flight. Like that's worth it. Yeah. Just for your own sanity.
Keenan always bails on me if we fly together. He always upgrades. He leaves me in the back with the peasants.
Yeah. I got to do it, dude. Mostly for my long neck.
I really hated sitting by you that one time. We had to sit by
You hated it?
Yeah, because you're so big. Your shoulders were just
who wins the elbow battle here?
Well, it's not even a battle because he's so wide that it's like he just melts over the seat rests.
That's who determines who's
Spill
the true
over.
alpha.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's a full-on sport for me on the side.
But the thing is, we're so comfortable touching each other that...
Okay, bro. That you took it too far just now.
I'm just making a statement.
Okay, but that was inappropriate.
But jiu-jitsu
you make a lot of inappropriate jokes on this podcast. That one was too
Jiu-jitsu
far.
guys are very comfortable touching each other in non-sexual ways. Keenan, God damn it! How old are we?
I don't know, dude. Collectively, 12.
No, but I don't mind. Like I can rest my arm on your arm, and I don't feel weird about it. Even if
you know how I know. But you said you
strategy.
didn't like sitting next to me, but I know for a fact you did because I had the weed gummies.
No, I had the weed gummies.
Oh.
We were flying back from Kazakhstan when we did ACB, and it's like 16-hour flight. Yeah, and I had some special candies.
Gets you through it.
And this was Keenan's, I think, one of his first.
That was my first experience into the edibles, and then I realized it's like the optimal way to just pass out.
Yeah, it's so. Do you do that ever? Edibles on the plane?
I usually just take Xanax on the plane.
Oh, that's cool.
I bet that works too. Yeah.
Edibles can hit me either way.
True.
Yeah, so we're flying back from Kazakhstan, and I had smuggled these drugs illegally into the country, and then back out of the country.
Well, if they're in candy form, it's like not really.
It was sour. There were sour watermelon patch candies. And I gave Keenan one, and he was fucking tripping balls. And then I ended up taking too many because Keenan didn't want to take another one. I was like, bro, you're big. You're a big person. You need two. He's like, no, I can't do it. I'm afraid. So I had to eat his, and then I ended up overdosing. Not in a lethal way, obviously, but I was definitely sitting on the plane and losing my mind. And I remember I curled up, like I pulled the blanket up on my chest, and I was like, Josh, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep.
Did you go to sleep?
I was about to panic because I was thinking, fuck, we're 38,000 feet in the air.
I knew something was wrong when I looked over and you had both sets of our earphones on your eyeballs like this. And you're wearing them and using them to sleep. And that's why I was like, I don't think Josh is okay.
I was definitely not in a good place. I was super scared.
That's what I worry about. If I take an edible,
Yeah.
I might go to sleep or I might start having a panic attack.
Yeah, I was right there on the edge of the panic attack.
Xanax guarantees.
So for me, I actually always have a panic attack, but I've just come to the point that like you either panic and think you're going to die or you fall asleep. And so it's an easy choice. You just fall asleep.
Oh, when I fell asleep, I slept for 8 hours. Yeah. I woke up and we're halfway home.
Yeah, I guess smuggling that stuff into Kazakhstan, you're all right with those guys that take care of you over there.
Yeah, well, I was in good hands.
I feel like they have a get out of jail.
They got a guy that takes care of that.
Yeah. Especially picks you up from the airport where you're being detained.
Yeah.
Like, we'll take it from here. They're like, oh shit. Okay. See you later.
Yeah. No, I will say this about ACB. They definitely took care of their athletes. They definitely did.
First class?
No, it wasn't first class. I guess it wasn't that good.
Yeah. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. They screwed us. What the hell, ACB?
No, but the
just
food,
kidding.
the hotels, it was a really good situation.
Yeah, those guys are super nice too. And dealing with Saeed and stuff, they were just cool dudes.
Love you, ACB.
Yeah, I hope you guys come back someday.
Please come back.
Please come back.
Okay, next question.
What? Yeah, sure. Hit him. You got one?
Oh, I got one for both of you guys.
Oh, sure.
Someone asked, and I thought it was a really good question. What do you guys think for non-Gracie schools? Okay, non-Gracie schools. What do you think about people who post the picture of Helio or Carlos and bow to it before the classes?
I mean, it's an interesting decision for sure to be bound to photos.
Yeah, I'm not. I take pictures of Helio down whenever I'm about to teach. So when I teach at a lot of different gyms, and so whenever I find like a picture of Helio on the wall, I just take it and I just put it face down so he doesn't have to see what I'm teaching.
Because he'll be offended.
I would shame him.
Your jiu-jitsu will offend him.
Yeah.
I feel like Keenan though, when he opens his school, is going to make people bow to his photo.
Yeah, what photo are you going to put up on your wall?
I talked about this with someone and I had a funny idea, but I forgot what it was. But
Craig, are you ever going to open an academy?
I think so. Yeah,
one
day.
Where will you do that?
I don't know. I would always like to move to Hawaii. I feel like that would be a great place.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I want to open a crazy competition gym one day. I feel like I just want to kick it.
Yeah.
Train with some normal
You got to
people.
talk to Kyle Terra about this. He has a very strong opinion.
Oh, really?
He says competitors are a waste of time.
Yeah, and energy, right?
Yeah, he's like, they want everything for free and they'll never pay you for anything, but they want everything from you.
What about you? Do you think one day?
I don't know, man. I was thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep doing this podcast thing for a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to see how well Keenan's academy goes, and then I'll decide if he becomes miserable or like sad or like if his career plummets. I'll make a decision based on that. You know, I'm gonna see how this academy opening affects his life, and then I'll make a decision.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have pictures of people on the wall, but I do want to put. I don't know if I told you this, Josh, but I want to put video, like TV monitors everywhere, and it's just me like monologuing about like American Jiu-Jitsu and like just.
It's just going to be
like anti-Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu propaganda, just playing constantly throughout the loudspeakers of the gym, just slowly brainwashing my entire student body until.
So like what catch wrestlers do?
Yeah, is that what they do?
Nah,
Similar.
Non-Brazilian grappling.
Yep.
Craig, you got promoted by Lachlan?
Lachlan, yeah.
He gave you your black belt?
Yeah.
Who gave Lachlan his black belt?
I have no idea. Hey.
You know, I've been meaning to ask about this because I was researching his lineage and he doesn't have a legitimate lineage, it looks like.
Oh, shit. Because fake black belts and BJJ is on my list of topics.
We need to have a little discussion, Lachlan, about your self-promotion to black belt.
I'm trying to think. It's Machado lineage, the guy. I just can't remember the guy's name. I don't know if he still teaches anymore.
You guys go ahead and chit chat first.
Let's be honest, the lineage doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. Lachlan is super legit. Like, he's a tough mofo.
Great YouTube channel too, right?
Yeah,
he puts out a lot of good content.
Very knowledgeable. He has a PhD. I don't think a lot of people know this about Lachlan.
Yeah. He's an expert.
He just got it.
Patella tendon pain. He's like one of the world's experts.
Yeah, he just got it.
In what?
Last year.
Patella what?
Patella, like, yeah. Kneecap.
Oh, he's a patella tendon specialist?
He has a PhD.
Like medically? Like
he's a doctor, yeah.
He's a doctor and wow.
No, is it an MD or it's a science degree?
He's a doctor. He's got a doctorate.
It's a PhD. It's a PhD. The D stands
But I mean, I feel like if you're a doctorate over some piece of anatomy, you're probably qualified to work on it.
Probably. I think he knows a lot. I'm sure he can't cut it open and reconstruct it.
Maybe he can. Dude, I bet he can.
Maybe. How do you spell his name? Gil?
Giles.
Yes.
I've dislocated my patella a few times now.
Slapped it back in, right?
Yeah, I just smacked that bitch back in place.
Did that really happen? Your patella really came out?
Twice, yeah.
That's horrible.
Once against JT, he was pressure passing me and he like side smashed me and my kneecap, like if this is the top of my knee, this is my kneecap. It hit the mat and then he pressure passed me on top of my kneecap and it just slid off to the side. And you feel your whole kneecap on the side of your knee. And you just have to like straighten your leg and kind of just like gently push it back in. Because if you don't, it's just unbearable pain. It's the most painful knee injury
That's
of
what
them
I've
all.
heard.
Yeah, it's the most painful. And if you leave it there, it's just never ending pain. And so I just like ate it and just pushed it back in. And then the other time it happened in Japan, I was competing and some guy shot in on a single leg and same thing. Like my knee hit the mat, kneecap slid off and my knee just kept going as my kneecap slid off.
But you kept competing after that, right?
Yeah, it went back in and then I was up like 9 points and I was like, fuck, I just got to finish it. Like my knee's fucked anyways. Like it's not going to get more hurt. I can hold half guard or something for the rest of this fight.
That's what I did with Lovato. Yeah. Popped my knee in the middle of the match and I was like, well, it's fucked. Might as well keep going.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like the damage is done. Like if you can get the win, you can get the win. Yeah. Gordon did the same thing. Everyone does that, you know. Injuries happen and you kind of just like, if you're winning, you just are like, eh.
It's called having heart.
Yeah.
So check it out. Lachlan's lineage. Carlos, Helio, Carlos Gracie Jr.
Wow, straight from Helio Gracie?
Yeah. Well, it's straight from Mitsuyo Maeda.
He's got that pure blood.
Then Carlos, Helio, Carlos Gracie Jr., Jean-Jacques Machado / Higan Machado, John Will to John Simon.
That's it, John Simon. But John Will's like an Aussie legend in grappling.
Oh, is he?
They call him one of the Dirty Dozen, the first 12 non-Brazilian black belts.
Nice.
Wow, I'm surprised they have 12 of them.
And I'm looking at BJJ Heroes, and it says Lachlan's nickname is Velociraptor. Like a velociraptor with Lachlan put together.
Kit Dale back in the day told him he has an extremely large mouth and smile, so he looks like a raptor.
A velociraptor?
I think the name needs some work, honestly.
Velociraptor.
He's already got all the.
But I like where it's going. But yeah.
So you're not going to post a picture of anyone?
Of what?
In your academy.
Oh yeah, dude. What am I bowing to? I don't think jiu-jitsu. Like I feel like there are some important traditional martial arts aspects of jiu-jitsu of like discipline and all of that, but I don't think it needs to be.
I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with it.
Okay.
Because anytime you see a picture on the wall and people are bowing to it, it reminds me of Turkmenistan.
Okay.
Turkmenistan is like North Korea without nuclear weapons. And
Yep.
I lived there for 2 years. And
You lived there?
Yeah, I was in the Peace Corps. And the dictator is quite a savage. And if you oppose him or say anything bad about him, you basically disappear.
Yep.
And his picture was in every single room, in every single building in that entire country.
And jiu-jitsu is kind of like that. If you say anything bad about Helio or Hickson, like if you say that their jiu-jitsu wasn't like good,
you get wrecked on Reddit.
people are like, "Are you kidding me? Hickson was the greatest black belt of all time." And it's like,
400-0.
I get you have to show respect to like the people who came
pioneers.
before you. Like, yeah, for sure,
Sure.
they're pioneers. But we got like their jiu-jitsu definitely was not as good as it is today.
Yeah, it's become
It's probably
more
like
advanced.
tough per belt level, you know?
I'm not even going to bow to a picture of the president of the United States of America or the founding father of the United States.
Well, that's
are you going to bow to a picture of George
Well,
Washington?
it's cultural because like in Asia, a bow is just like a handshake. It's like just a
Would you shake hands with a picture of George Washington?
yeah.
Would
If
you-
I mean, I don't see why not. If a picture could shake hands with me, it would be a unique opportunity for sure.
Would you bow to it?
No, dude, I wouldn't bow because it's not part of my culture. But I mean, the thing is, jiu-jitsu comes from Japan, so maybe that's like one of the few things left over is like the Japanese culture of bowing is,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So maybe it's not that big of a deal, actually.
Well, I mean, I bow to Trump when I come in, just praying I get across the border every
Yeah.
time.
You have to.
Have you had any problems getting into the country since the regime change in the U.S.?
You know, I actually became more strict, right? So, as of 2016, I get interrogated in the line to get my to drop my bags off.
Seriously?
You get another layer
One
of
extra layer.
interrogation, yeah, and then they either give you a go-ahead stamp or further questioning. And then again when you get to the U.S.
I don't know if this is a secret or not, Craig, and if it is, we can always cut it out. But you're trying to move to the U.S., right?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to at least have easier entry. Because right now when I come in, I make up a story and stuff. Like hopefully no.
We're gonna have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
so they
Do you
don't
ever
know.
worry that they'll Google your name and see all the seminar flyers and then throw you out?
Here's the lucky thing, right? Craig Jones is a member of Slipknot. So if you Google Craig Jones, that's what comes up.
Nice.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, so
I
my
like it.
my name's pretty unique. If they Google me, all the seminar flyers pop up.
Did you have problems with Australia?
No, Australia was super easy, but Canada gives me a hard time. Yeah, Canada gets really aggressive. I got interrogated in going into Canada last month.
Australia is usually considered pretty similar to Canada in that respect.
Well, you guys have the same monarch.
That's yeah.
Technically, you're all part of the Commonwealth.
That's
Right?
it. Yeah, Team Commonwealth.
Yeah, they pulled me aside, and I think it was random, but they pulled me aside, and the guy actually searched my entire criminal history, and he found something from 20 years ago.
Really?
And he's like, "Have you ever been in trouble?" And I was like, how recently? Like, not recently, but like, yeah, I have spent a night in jail like 20 years ago.
What'd you do?
I was just drunk in public.
Oh.
I was 20 years old, and I caused a big ruckus outside. tried to fight some kid. It did no fight ended up happening, and I ended up walking home. I got into a fight with my girlfriend at the time, and then walked home, and I got picked up while I was walking home at 2 in the morning. And because I was underage, they had to detain me, and I spent the night in the drunk tank.
I've got a criminal record as well. When I was 17, I shoplifted a Sunny Delight. I got arrested. They booked me.
Shoplifting?
Yeah, I shoplifted a Sunny Delight, dude. And,
It's not even real orange juice.
I know.
Could at least gone for the good stuff.
I didn't though, and I paid the price. And so, in a funny story,
How old were you?
16 probably.
Okay.
And
In Hawaii?
yeah, I was in Hawaii, and it came back to haunt me years later when the SWAT team stormed the house in Maryland. They sat us all down on the couches. I don't know if you know the story.
We got to hit. No, tell the
This
story,
is a
man.
crazy story.
Yeah,
You
tell
want
the
me to tell?
story.
DJ told me a little bit
DJ,
about it.
yeah. This is it. It's kind of an insane story, but so basically, when the whole like rape accusation went down for the Team Lord Urban thing, we didn't know what happened. It was New Year's Eve. Like everything was. I didn't go out. Like I don't drink or anything. So me and Andres stayed home and we're just chilling. And so we wake up the morning of New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and I hear like a loud banging on the door. And I was staying in a room where you could see out to the front door, like through the window.
You had
could
the
see.
special room.
No,
No?
I was sharing a room on a bunk bed, bro.
Okay.
Are you kidding? Dude, I didn't have it good till I made it on my own. When I was over there, I was struggling. I was eating ramen noodles every night.
Okay.
So I look out the window and I see a line of like 8 fully geared up like military dudes with like M16s outside the door, and they were the is it like National Guard, the U.S. Marshals? No, it was U.S. Marshals.
Okay.
The U.S. Marshals, because their jurisdiction can pass over different states, and because the incident happened in D.C., but we were in Maryland, they had to like call in the U.S. Marshals or something. So they bust into our house. Like, I don't even have time to open the door. Like, I look, and there's 8 of them lined up.
They broke the door down?
They rammed it with like a freaking ram, busted the door down, and I like opened my bedroom door to be like don't fucking barge in here and shoot me. Like, I was just like there with my hands up ready. And JT had walked up the stairs because he lived in the basement. He walked up the stairs and was like reaching to open the door as they busted it open. So we got handcuffed like against the wall, and they do the crazy thing about it is they like force your hands behind your back, right? And then they make you interlock your fingers. And the reason they make you do that is if you grab, like they grab your fingers like this, and you can't unlock your fingers if someone does that. So they use that as like a tactic of, you know, controlling someone. And so they handcuffed us all and put us all in the room, and we had no idea what had happened. We didn't had any clue. Like, we thought like we had been targeted as like a drug house, or like there was like we were like framed, like we didn't know what happened at all. And so they started interrogating us and asking us all questions, and we're all lined up on the couches, and they had us handcuffed. And the thing about handcuffs is if you lean against them, they get tighter and it's really painful. So you kind of have to like sit forward, and you're not able to like look up at anyone. So you're like forward, and like they're talking to you, and you're trying to see them, and you can't, and they kind of stand close to you, so you can't make eye contact with them.
You're talking to their boots.
Yeah. And so they're interrogating all of us, and we're like, dude, we didn't like know anything about what you're talking about. And they're like asking for those guys who were there.
Right.
And they started bringing up like all our past history.
They knew everything.
Yeah. And they were like calling out Mike Perez for something he did back in Texas. And then they were like,
you and your Sunny Delight.
Yeah, but the thing about they got Perez's wrong, and they accused JT of being Perez because Perez. So like
and they're both Puerto Rican.
The detective was acting like super tough, like he knew everything about JT, and he's like listing off. So Torres, you got into some trouble in San Antonio back in 2008, huh? And JT's like, no, and he's like, it says right here on your file that you got into some trouble. Don't lie to me, son. Like trying to be all cool. And JT's like, nope, that wasn't me. You probably have the name wrong. I'm Torres. And he's like, oh, it's Perez. And he like, kind of just like awkwardly walked away. And then Perez wasn't there. He was staying somewhere else at the time. And so like they started interrogating us and bringing up all that stuff. And then eventually they were like, okay, well, the guys aren't here. And so they left, and we were just like, what the hell was that? And we started getting calls from people and like hearing about what had happened and what was going on. And we were like, holy shit. Well, that was insane to wake up to.
That was like the morning after the event?
It was the morning of New Year. Okay. So it was like whatever had happened like 6 hours before.
Okay.
It was like not even, probably 4 hours before, because they broke in at like 6 a.m. And so after that, we were just like shocked, like, holy shit. And like, I was already planning on leaving. Like I was leaving for, no, was it? But then I don't think, maybe not. Maybe I wasn't planning on leaving yet. But so me and JT are hanging out of the house for the rest of the day, just like tripping out and like trying to get more info, what had happened. And like, we didn't know what was going to happen. And we're just contemplating, like, what are we going to do? Like, this is insane that this is going down right now. And so at around 8 p.m., we hear another loud knock on the door, and it was like, boom, 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 boom. Same thing, like, open up, this is the SWAT team. And we're like,
oh my God.
We were like, okay, like, who's playing a prank on us? Like, it must be Master Donnie. Like, we thought it was like one of the other black belt coaches just coming to like fuck with us. Cause at that point we were just like, wow, that was crazy. Like, everyone's kind of joking about it. And I go to open the door, like laughing, kind of thinking it's Master Donnie. And this time there's like 30 SWAT team members, like in full SWAT gear with riot shields and submachine guns. And they do the exact same thing again to me and JT. And we get handcuffed.
We're not done with you.
Yep. And so we get handcuffed, put on the floor again with submachine guns on us. And when the U.S. Marshals came, they had like laser sights on their fucking guns, dude, like pointing at us. Like, it was scary as hell. And I guess they called in that level of security or that level of force because they heard it was a fighter house. Yeah. So their intel was that like we're dangerous fighters or something.
I mean, you are dangerous fighters.
Right. But I mean,
one-on-one, you could handle any of those guys.
I don't know. Some of these guys were pretty tough, Josh. I don't know. But so yeah, they do it all again. But this time it's just me and JT there. So me, JT, and one girl who was staying with us at the time. and they do the whole thing, the whole interrogation process. They say the same shit. Like, you got in some trouble back in Texas. They do the whole thing. They do the whole thing again. And they're like calling me out about shoplifting in Hawaii. And I thought it got removed from my record because I was a teenager. Like,
I thought after 7 years it goes away.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to, but it doesn't really. So
no.
they bring it up as like make you scared, like, oh shit, what's the punishment this time? So they do the whole thing again, and it turns out that SWAT team had no idea that the U.S. Marshals already came. So the two different organizations were like pursuing the case separately without any communication with each other. And we were trying to explain to them, like, no, you guys did this already. Like, we did this morning. And they're like, what are you talking about? And like the U.S. Marshals were here like 8 hours ago. You guys are late. Everything's done already.
The feds are ahead of you guys.
Yeah, and there's like 5 detectives in there, and they're like, in DC, they're like dressed in their freaking trench coats. They look like out of a movie, detectives, and they were just kind of embarrassed, and then they just left. And that
they believed you?
It was true. They called it in, and it was like it happened, so they knew.
They double checked.
But their intel was bad. Like, whoever was organizing that sting operation or whatever it was. But you know what? We lived in a pretty, well, it was a nice neighborhood, but like our neighbors didn't know what we did. But after the 2 SWAT trucks show up in the same day, like, no one fucked with us.
The neighbors are super friendly after that.
Yeah, they were like,
hey boys, nice to see you this morning.
They just rush into their houses. But yeah, that was crazy.
Imagine if they came at the same time.
Oh my god, dude! If one had come in first and then they came in like 20 minutes later,
shooting guys.
It would just be a gunfight. Probably they would not know what to do. That'd be insanity.
So they actually break the door? Do they? They break.
Yeah, they just bust right in.
The door was already broken in the evening, though, so they didn't have to break the door down.
No, the second time I opened it, the second time they didn't break in, I like opened it and they were like there ready to break in, but they knocked first.
Imagine if you had just fixed it.
Right.
They just like nailed it.
Spent the whole day replacing the frame, and then they kick it down again.
No, for it to happen twice though was comical and incredibly frightening.
Yeah,
it was scary.
So
that's the only time I've had guns pointed at me in my entire life. And in one day, never had guns pointed at me in my entire life. In one day, I had over 30 guns pointed at me. It was insane.
I don't think I've ever had a gun pointed at me.
No, me neither.
No?
Yeah, it's not fun, dude.
You ever been in trouble, Craig?
Never.
No trouble at all?
Yeah, luckily.
Seriously?
Yeah, well, I mean, had I been in trouble, I think would have made this travel life a bit more difficult. I'm glad I never got caught for any mischief back in the day.
So you just never got caught.
Yeah. I wasn't stealing any orange juice, luckily.
Do you want to tell us the story behind your criminal past? What's the most criminal thing you've ever done, Craig?
Nothing too exciting, really. Hey,
but there's something.
Got into a fight one time, but nothing ever panned out about that.
I've heard actually on the street that Craig Jones heel hooks a lot of white belts.
Oh,
and that's criminal.
Pretty
fucking heinous.
That's criminal. That's criminal.
I
criminal
tried
as fuck.
If they come at me too hard, they got to take it.
Yeah, bro. I heel hook white belts. If they get crazy, I'll put them right in a heel hook.
I actually
Tony the white belt
I broke a guy's ankle at this isn't great advertising for the camp really, but in Thailand there was a kid that came on the camp and Stuart Cooper's filming it. He's never given me the copy of this footage, right? But I put this kid, I didn't know he was a white belt at the time, in an steamer lock. The slowest steamer lock you could ever imagine. I reckon he was in it for 15 seconds and we're making eye contact the whole time and he's not tapping.
Almost like he was enjoying it.
Yeah, and then his ankle just exploded. And he keeps rolling. I'm like, I'm like, you're right? He's like, no, it's fine. It wasn't a bad pop. And I'm like, I felt like a terrible pop.
The whole room heard it.
Next day he shows up. His ankle's huge. He can't train, obviously. So then that was the rest of his camp, really. And I think it was the same kid that showed up with ringworm. So he had to miss a couple days at the beginning. So he gets in there, gets injured. He's out, right? That's 2 nights later, we go out on the town. The guys are drinking and stuff. And he gets fuck Craig Jones tattooed on his ankle.
What?
Because another kid was his birthday and these guys were talking about getting tattoos. And I was like, if you get my name, I'll pay for it. So I broke one of the guy's ankles and he got fuck Craig Jones tattooed on the swollen, damaged ankle. And another guy got it done on his butt cheeks.
He got the tattoo while it was swollen.
Wow, yeah, savage. Yeah.
So when the swelling went down, it's all wrinkled up like a raisin tattoo.
Well, this guy's clearly psychotic to just eat that leg lock and enjoy every second of it and then just kind of walk away.
It's like he wanted me to do it, I think.
I have a pretty funny story about ankle locking someone. So Andres, who was my roommate back in Maryland, DJ broke his leg one day. So they were training. DJ goes for like a belly down ankle lock. Andres was just like super tough, didn't tap. like splinters his leg up the tibia like a line and fracture.
Oh,
God.
shit.
Yeah, so it like fractured up his leg, and he was out for like 4 or 5 months trying to heal. He became a full-time pest control sniper in the meantime, which is where he gets the nickname Sniper from. He would sit in our upstairs window and just like snipe like pest birds from in our neighborhood.
Picking off birds?
Picking off birds,
Oh
bro.
my God.
Yeah, an entire summer, dude. And it became like a sport for him. And then
Fucking homicidal maniac.
But he came back with a real killer instinct, as you would imagine. And so he comes back, and I had the bright idea that like he should learn how to protect his ankle better now, because it's like it's a vulnerability. People are going to go for it. So I put him in ankle lock, and we kind of do the same thing. Like I kind of been like looking at him, and like we kind of had the mutual understanding that I was going to go for ankle lock so he could like learn to like defend the movement. And we're like looking at each other, and I do a little pressure, and he's like, yeah, it still feels good. But he doesn't say it, but it's just kind of like an unspoken exchange. And I go, just a tiny little bit more pressure, and the entire thing snaps again. Like, the day that he got back on the mats, I broke his leg again because we thought it would be a good idea to like practice his leg lock. So he was out for 9 months sniping birds from the top window at our house.
Now I know why. Now I get the sniper story.
Yeah, there was an entire graveyard of birds out there. It was crazy. After a while, I started feeling really bad. I made little crosses for them, and I'd like bury them. I swear to God.
No, you didn't.
Yep.
You actually did that.
I started burying them and making little
Out of
graves for them.
popsicle sticks?
Just little twigs.
You know how little kids do that? Did you ever do that when you were a kid? You have an animal that died and you made a little popsicle cross? Like
I would harvest.
But that would work, yeah.
I would harvest little twigs from the backyard, and I'd arrange them.
Craig, did you ever have an animal when you were a child that died?
Yeah.
A pet?
A couple dogs, couple cats and stuff.
You didn't bury them?
I think my parents buried them, yeah. I can't remember what we did with the bodies, actually.
I had a dog that died in my arms when I was 16, and I had him for 10 years. And to this day, I wish I buried him. But we had him cremated. Sad times.
I see some people that get their dogs' ashes cast in like a marble.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
kind of morbid, but kind of cool.
Sort of looks like a little galaxy of ash inside a marble. You could do that for your next dead dog.
Yeah, I don't want animals anymore because that shit is so traumatic.
Really?
Yeah, it really sucks.
They don't live long enough, right?
Yeah, 10 years is just enough to love them like family, and then they die.
That's crazy.
That sucks.
That's life. So tell us about this tournament you're doing, or this event, Kinetic.
This event, Kinetic, Friday night in Anaheim. So we got 4 teams. I'm the captain of one, Anthony Smith, Chris Littell, and Chael Sonnen.
Those are all the team captains, and they assemble teams, right?
Oh, there's 4 teams.
4 teams, yeah. So a lot of MMA stars on there, old school guys like Rico Rodriguez, Chris Littell. So these guys mostly pick their friends on their team, I can only assume. So I just tried to pick the
savages,
some of the best people I could. Keenan was in there until we had some difficulties.
Yeah, I wasn't a team player. He kicked me off the team.
Keenan's very difficult to work with. Nobody knows this.
Everyone knows it, I think.
Well, yeah, no one's experienced it the way I have. Me and Andre.
And yet here you are, dude, working with me still. So it can't be that bad.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to be on this team, and like we couldn't come to an agreement, dude. Craig drives a hard bargain.
Like it's a money agreement.
Oh yeah, bro, it's all about money.
Yeah.
No, there's just some sponsor conflicts
Oh.
with how the team works, because they have to wear like a special uniform.
Yeah.
And my Hyperfly contract is like pretty strict with about what I can wear. But so yeah, he's got basically like the who's who of no-gi grappling.
all-star team.
We got the fake black belt Lachlan Giles.
Yep.
We got Gordon Ryan, Edwin Najime, Nicky Rod. So we had Jake Shields, but he injured his back. And then we were going to put in Oliver Taza, which would have been better for us weight-wise.
So there's a weight limit, right?
Yeah, total weight 950 pounds.
Okay.
So we're putting Gordon in, so we're all having to cut weight.
And they at first it was like no one was going to have to cut weight when I was going to do it, and then I stopped, and so then they put in, and then Jake Shields dropped out, and they got Nicky Rod and Gordon, who both weigh like 240. So now they all have to cut like 20 pounds to make room for them. So everyone has to cut so much weight.
So Gordon's competing this weekend.
Yeah.
Friday.
He pulled out of the IBJJF.
The Grand Prix. Yeah. There was a little bit, some people were going after him on Facebook for this. They were like,
I thought
I thought you're too injured to compete, blah,
right.
blah, blah.
That's my question.
Well, I mean, the thing is he's fighting MMA fighters who are not really going to be able to put him in danger in a grappling situation.
Yeah, I think he's thinking like he can pull guard in this and be fine. But in the IBJJF, he'd probably have to do some wrestling.
Yeah, with Buchecha for sure.
But it's funny because he made the same style of post, like everyone's fucked. It's like, but also I'm just doing it because like these guys suck and my knee's gonna be able to hold up against it.
Craig, I'm looking at your grappling record right now.
Uh-oh.
It's very impressive.
What's the submission percentage?
I will let you guess.
I know Craig had the highest submission percentage one year.
We're talking about
It was
submissions to wins, not total matches.
Oh,
It's the submission ratio to wins.
I see. So out of all of Craig's wins, how many submissions do you get? It seems like Craig only wins by submission. Otherwise, he loses in overtime.
If it goes past about 3 minutes, generally you've considered it a lost match.
I think it's around 80%, maybe like 76%.
It's actually 100,
What?
according to BJJ.
You
Heroes.
have a 100% submission win rate. Every one of your wins is by submission.
Well, consider that he only does submission only matches. There's only one option to win by submission or lose.
That's a good point. Wow.
Yeah, no, it says here. Well, I'm actually kind of confused by it because it says you have 33 total wins and 27 of them are by submissions. So,
The other ones
but
are
next to it,
no
it says
contest.
100% next to the
Yeah,
27.
100% of my submissions are by submission.
That's what it's trying to say.
But you have 4 referee decisions and it says 2-point wins. So actually,
Let me see this,
Yeah,
dude.
it's not. It's
This doesn't add up.
Andre Borges needs to double check that.
Good Lord, Craig, you're submitting everyone out here. And you've only had 3 submission losses. Wow, this is most impressive.
All of them to Gordon and then Keenan.
What about? How did you lose to this guy?
30 points or something.
Oh, it was points.
I rewatched that match with Keenan. There's one point in the match where I'm so fatigued and exhausted from his passing. I just don't fight one of his passes.
He's so fucking tall, right? He puts his hands on you, but he keeps his feet so far away and he just tiptoes around the guard. Like,
Yeah, he's standing in another mat, but he's still
right, exactly. Imagine how I feel. I'm like half your height.
I don't have that same flow I used to. I had a real good nogi passing flow for a while. But I lose it every nogi season. It takes me like 4 months to get it back.
You got this heavy flop passing you were doing to me yesterday. Hey,
Yeah. That's like part of it. That's like, so it's like, it's a 3-part thing. It's the outside flop, which is like the backstep thing, the diving baseball knee cut, which I just throw out there as like a jab. You just do it over and over again. And then the left, right with the hands. And you just like getting in there.
That's the one that fucks me
Their
up.
ankles like,
Yeah, that's the one that bothers me the most.
yeah.
I feel like when I'm on my back and you're standing over me, I feel like you're 8 feet in the air.
Well, that's
I just feel like
that's the problem with
you're
nogi,
towering
man.
over me.
That's the problem with nogi. Let's just talk about that real fast. How stupid nogi is, and it's stupid because the advantage is hugely favored for the person on top.
yeah,
Yeah,
And-
which means you got to wrestle.
Right, which means you have to wrestle. So it's not even jiu-jitsu anymore. It's a wrestling competition where you have to end up on top because it's so easy to defend the stuff from bottom.
Some might call it submission wrestling,
That's what it is. It's become submission wrestling, dude. And I think we should actually...
or is that what it's always been?
No, it definitely used to feel like there was much more ground action and like more dynamic movement from top to bottom once they actually hit the ground. And now it's pretty much, you don't see sweeps. It's like leg locks. And then even now leg locks people are catching on because they've released all of their information. You know, Danaher and Craig are putting all the information out about leg locks. So everyone's more educated about it and it's easier to defend. Leg locks aren't that dangerous if you know how to defend them. They're just like any other submission, you know? If anything, they're probably easier to defend than like armbar, triangle, Kimura. Like those are much higher percentage.
Yeah, once you're in a triangle, I think getting out it is very difficult.
Right, but it's like they're more, yeah.
Leg lock is like turn away and kick as hard as you can. And
Well,
if you're sweaty, you might
Not
slip
exactly, Josh, and that's why you need some help with your leg locks.
When's the last time I got leg locked? I don't know why you keep throwing these rumors out there. When's the last time I got leg
It
locked?
sounds like it was Connor earlier.
Yeah, it was Connor.
No, he never even. No, well, he never finished.
Well, yeah,
Actually,
screaming and causing a fight in the middle of the match instead of tapping still counts as
Verbal
getting
tap,
submitted.
verbal
I don't appreciate your disinformation. Spreading.
Yeah, I know. You're pretty tough.
I reckon shave your legs, you're fine for leg
He
locks,
shaves
yeah.
his legs, dude.
That's what I do,
You
bro.
can always tell someone who's sensitive about leg locks and getting caught in them, they shave their legs.
I shaved my legs because I lost a bet with my cousin.
Oh, and so then you had to shave them for the rest of your life
Well,
forever? That
well-
was the bet.
No, that I had to shave it the first time, and then I just liked it.
Oh.
No, because I let the hair grow out after the bet, and then I was in wrestling in high school, and all the hair was just getting ripped out of my legs, and I was getting all these really pimple infection things on my knees, And so I just found that when I shave my legs, I don't have that problem.
This is Lachlan Giles' theory on staph. He thinks staph only comes from like the hair follicle. So if you shave it, you don't irritate your legs as much.
Right.
You get as much
It's
staph.
true.
Interesting.
It's
I
true.
can see that.
The hair, your leg hair will hold bacteria.
Yeah.
Please don't touch our guests' legs. Okay, while we're
jiu-jitsu guys.
This is all being recorded.
We don't mind touching each other.
Please don't touch any thighs.
But you ever notice, like, look, you ever had like someone who's a non-jiu-jitsu player, like lean their knee against your knee, and they get like really weird about it really quick. But like jiu-jitsu guys, they don't care, man.
Well, yeah, we're like face deep in each other's crotches half the time.
Right.
Passing. It's a rough sport we picked.
But normal people are super weird about touching.
Yeah, for sure. Most people weren't touched at all in their lives.
I think humans need more physical contact in their lives. I think this is why jiu-jitsu players are so much happier, healthier, like mentally stable humans. Because we have so much physical contact with each other, and it's good for you. It's good for your brain.
Interesting. I was speaking to this yogi who got into jiu-jitsu, and her philosophy is that touch is important, but there has to be tender touch as well as violent touch. And men need both.
We need both.
Yeah. So you need to be able to get violent with your bros, but then you got to like have the opposite. Otherwise,
got to go home and snuggle.
Yeah, you got to go get your snuggles in.
Are you guys cuddling with each other? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No.
He was actually trying to invite you to the cuddle session. That little leg advance.
What are you guys doing later?
No, dude, but it's like you need that respite from the violence, you know? So you got your ladies or your
life is about balance, right?
The case. You go everywhere with your is she your wife or your girlfriend?
My wife, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys are married.
Serious? I had no idea.
Yeah, they're
you're married?
Yeah.
Well, it was like sped up the process for visa reasons, but
she an American?
American, yeah.
Oh, good job.
No,
yeah.
That was no, dude.
No, that's how I was going to get. That's how I was going to get his green card.
Oh, true, yeah. But yeah, they go everywhere together. It's like sometimes I don't expect it. Like I see Craig at an event or something. I'm like, oh, Craig, and then like she's like there behind me. Like, oh shit, who's that?
Yeah, where is she?
I don't know, keeping herself busy while we do the podcast.
I think she's right outside the door. Just
I had no idea you were married.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Happily married Craig
When
Jones.
did that happen?
A year ago.
Man, all the ladies that are listening to this are so disappointed right now.
Very disappointed.
Yeah.
Keenan's basically married too. He's all in.
Nah, I'm not married.
Okay.
But
quick conversation.
Okay, well, we don't got to talk about it.
We'll post that snippet up.
Dude, speaking of girls in jiu-jitsu, do you guys have like jiu-jitsu girls like creeping in your DMs?
I have more guys creeping in my DMs than girls.
Obviously.
Someone sent me a dick pic last week.
Wow.
A legit dick pic. Just fucking hit me with it in my DM.
Was it Kit?
No, it wasn't Kit. It was a guy who sent me some weird pictures before. He sent me a picture of him like holding his guitar, and then he sent me a picture with like, and this is gonna sound really fucking weird, but he had like a picture with two kids, but like it almost looked like he was their uncle or something. He was just like, it was just like a beach picture, like a family picture kind
Thanks,
of.
bro.
And then the next picture is a dick pic.
Wow. So were you conversing with this man?
No.
He just was sending you stuff over and over.
You can see that I saw his previous pictures, right? I didn't hide the fact that I saw them. Like, so he saw that I saw them, and then I didn't say anything. And then I guess he just felt the need to continue.
He wants some sort of response out of you, so he's pushing the limit every time.
Right. So yeah, he sent me a dick pic.
He's probably not even gay, man. He's probably just seeing if you're gay. Like,
is that what you do?
I think he's just feeling it out, you know? How did it make you feel when you saw it? The picture? Are you
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you act like? Did I get itchy or something?
I don't know, bro.
This is a cry for help. Josh wants more dick pictures.
I was just confused. I didn't understand.
Dude, you do realize you might get a ton of dick pictures now. Oh shit.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not offended. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked that he, like, his profile is like, I know who he is. I can see who his face is. Like,
we've talked. I mean, I'm just bringing this up because. Oh, sorry, I'm grabbing your wallet. I thought that was
this
my
is also
wallet. Off with that.
This is the second dick pic that I've received from a jiu-jitsu guy.
Wow, I've never had that issue.
Yeah, we're not famous enough for it.
So let me tell you the story.
I think it's Josh's look. He's got that kind of.
No, let me tell you the story of the first one.
Let's not talk about your dick pics. Like, can I finish what I was saying?
Okay.
We talked about black belts preying on white belt girls.
Yeah.
What about the jiu-jitsu girls that go hard after the dudes?
If it happens, yeah,
it's out there.
There's a double standard.
Predatory behavior for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it goes both ways, and I think we should acknowledge that.
Yeah, definitely.
But Craig's got to get going soon. Maybe that's a topic for another day.
What time are we at?
It's 11:30. You got to go.
Yeah, I probably should
Yeah,
start.
we'll talk about the predatory females and another.
That's
podcast.
a good nail biter to finish.
Yeah, the cliffhanger.
Those girls know who they are.
Dang.
Yep.
Craig, rapid fire questions.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You
Ready?
have a list
Just
of
a few,
these?
just a few.
Okay.
I was going to make more, but I only got a few.
Okay.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm not going to ask gi or no gi because I know the answer to that. But chicken or steak?
Fried chicken, but
Ooh.
if I'm not cutting weight,
From where,
if I'm
though?
cutting weight, probably steak. Oh, that's a tough one.
Well,
Hey.
fried chicken.
Okay. This is rapid fire, not fucking discussion time.
Okay.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Inside heel hook or outside heel hook?
Inside heel hook for sure.
Yeah, I saw that on your record. It's like staggering difference. Men or women? Good answer. Good answer. Black coffee or sugar and cream?
Cream but no sugar.
Ooh.
Cream but no sugar.
Good compromise.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Can't get made fun of for that. If you said sugar, it's like people are going to make
If
fun
it's a
of you.
bad coffee, give me a lot of sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Rockstar or Red Bull? Or
Bang,
at
bro.
Keenan's house, Bang.
Actually, probably Bang.
Bang
Yeah.
is the best one, dude. It's got nothing bad in it. Except some suspicious creatine that's not actually creatine.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. That's all I got. That was it.
Well, Craig, it was great having you on our show. You were our first guest ever. We did 10, just me and Josh.
Episode 10.
And so since you're in town, I figured you'd be a great first guest.
Yeah.
And so,
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be on here talking about Jiu-Jitsu girls in the DMs.
Yeah. Well, that would have been it.
And dick bitches.
I'm sure we all have some
And
good
SWAT raids.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have some good stories about predatory females because that's an unspoken thing that exists.
That's episode 11.
Yeah.
We need our Me Too movement.
But Craig, you
Yeah.
can always call in too, man, because we got this really cool
That's
box.
true. This button right here activates the phone connector.
If you ever want to chime in
application.
from the phone call, wherever you are in the world, because I know you're in a different country like every other week.
Very cool. Very cool.
You're always
Yeah.
happy to, you're always going to be remembered as our first guest, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was a great podcast, guys. It was a pleasure, and we will reconvene at another date.
I'll see you.
later on.
I'll see you at ADCC.
Yes, hopefully in the final.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Good
Hopefully
luck
not
at
for-
your kinetic thing. Not that you guys need it. You're gonna kill everyone.
Yeah.
It'd be very embarrassing if we didn't.
Yeah.
You have everything to lose and nothing to gain.
Yeah, but
No, I'm just kidding.
Jiu-Jitsu doesn't. There's no
No,
like
every competition is serious.
people don't get. I feel like when there's a mass discrepancy in skill like that, it's very rare for there to be an upset.
Right.
Where MMA, it's a little more likely.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to handle that. So you guys can tune in to that. Where can they watch it? You have Fight Pass?
Fight Pass.
So they can watch
Oh.
Kinetic Grappling. You can see Craig, Gordon, and all his crew fighting on Fight Pass this weekend. And Craig also is, it's Craig Jones week on PJJFanatics.com, right?
It is.
Is it?
All-
you got your own week?
Yeah,
All his
like a-
instructionals are discounted.
25% off.
25% off. So if you're interested in learning Craig Jones's style, he's a very articulate instructor, which I think is important for instructors, and he has a really unique game that you can only really learn from him. So go ahead and check out his DVD
And
instructionals.
he's got that accent.
Yep.
That
He's
super
got that
sexy accent. Craig, do you want to say anything? Anyone you want to shout out?
No, not that I can
No-
think
no
of.
sponsors?
Actually.
Yeah, you should probably hit those
Come on, bro. It's a
sponsors,
pro
yeah.
tip. You got to thank the sponsors.
MA1's my main sponsor from Australia. Obviously, representing barefoot slides. A lot of guys wearing them these days. Pretty comfortable stuff. And that's it, I think, sponsor-wise.
Yeah.
You don't have a gi sponsor.
I don't, sadly.
Cool.
All good.
All right, guys. Thanks for everything.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you.
Go.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the Matburn Podcast. This episode is brought to you by two of our most beloved sponsors. The first one is Line Tax LLC. We've been working with these guys for about a month now. It's a great little relationship that we have with Line Tax Service. They are a premier tax and accounting firm working with clients nationwide. So you have to ask yourself, how do you prepare your taxes? Do you go to some slimeball accountant that you don't trust?
Probably not.
Maybe.
but-
I don't know. I hope
but
not.
maybe.
I hope not, but you never know. Do you
Yeah.
go on TurboTax and try to figure out yourself? Because that's what I do.
AKA having a slimy accountant that's yourself
Yeah, it could be
that you
yourself.
also don't trust to
Yeah. Just so you guys
get
know,
things done.
not every accountant is the same. Just like not every black belt is the same. Some accountants are,
You need someone who knows their shit.
and some of them don't, and some of them do. But Line Tax Service, they specialize in personal and business tax strategy, entity management, and consulting to increase your bottom line. If you contact them and you make a reference to the Matburn Podcast, you will get 50% off your initial service, which could save you several $100s.
That's considerable. That is quite a savings already. It might be worth it just to switch accountants just to save.
I thought about it.
Someone's just paying you $300 I mean, I don't know how much they're actually saving, but that's significant.
If you're a business owner, taxes can be expensive.
Yeah, you should just keep. I was going to say you should just keep switching accountants as long as they give you 50% off. But I think Sam, the tax guy, is the only one who's pulling that little string right now.
Sam's smarter than that.
Yeah.
So contact them for a free tax return review. They will review your return with you and let you know how many opportunities you missed out on to save some money. Contact Sam, the CPA. You can reach him at www.linetax.net or 913-353-4300. Give him a call. 50% off your initial service if you mention the Matburn Podcast. Secondly, we're working with Tap Cancer Out, one of the most
prolific
charities
in Jiu-Jitsu. Really the only charity in Jiu-Jitsu that's doing really serious things. They're organized. They raise tons of money for
over $1 million
cancer research and help.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know they're the charity that they work through, but I forgot what it was.
Well, look, here's what they got going on. They're bringing their tournament series to 9 different cities this fall. So they're going to be in Raleigh. They're going to be in Atlanta, a.k.a. Hotlanta. They're going to be in Orlando, Austin, Chicago, Cincinnati, Nashville, Philadelphia, and Boston. Registration is now open, so you can check that out at tapcancerout.org. If you can't make it to the tournament, not a problem. If you want to support the cause, they have tons of high-quality gear, including gis, rash guards, hoodies, tees, hats, patches, and more at their online store. And you can check out that at STOR, that's store.tapcancerout.org. Or simply go to tapcancerout.org and click on the store button in the upper right-hand corner. All Matburn listeners get 10% off. Just use the code Matburn and give them a follow at Tap Cancer Out on Instagram.
Yeah. And for those people, some people are kind of weird about charities. They're like, oh, well, who is the money going to? How does the organization run? Obviously, you're taking money, but it's like they're a non-profit organization and they do really good work, guys.
They have a good reputation.
Obviously, they have to keep their charity company going, right? But I know these guys personally. I've met them on multiple occasions, and I've always wanted to do more work with them. And I've donated a lot of gis to their cause one time I donated a bunch of gis to their cause.
So that's probably the most donating you've ever done, hasn't it?
No, I donate for cancer, especially. I like to help out when I can. I feel like it's just so prevalent, dude. Like everyone gets cancer at some point. It seems like
you have a cancer cell in your body right now. I bet.
Probably, dude.
You do. It's a fact.
I'm gonna hunt that guy down and kill him.
Get him.
But yeah, you got to support, dude, because it could be any one of us one day.
It's a worthy cause, guys, and everyone's affected by cancer. My grandmother was a breast cancer survivor before she passed away.
My own father was a cancer survivor.
Yeah, so support the cause, guys.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's good. That's what we do in the jiu-jitsu world. We support.
Yeah, and so it's cool that they work with us, and we're happy to support them, and vice versa. So check them out, guys. And then that's it for your end of the sponsor deal, right? That's
it for me.
Let me tell you guys something real fast.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Let me tell you a way to help yourself.
How can I help myself?
So Josh,
what?
When was the last time you got a massage?
Yesterday, 12 hours ago.
Bro, that's expensive though, right?
It was. I paid $120.
What if I told you could get similar benefits, if not even greater benefit, from yoga? I've personally found that yoga has helped me recover from a series of injuries, a series of serious serial injuries.
Like your neck?
Yeah, injuries I've sustained while eating cereal. My neck in particular.
From always hanging your head in shame?
Hanging my head, video games, sitting at a desk.
Staring at your cell phone in your lap.
Staring at my cell phone neck. Regardless of the situation, if you have tight muscles and massage or whatever sort of recovery you may already be doing is expensive, or you don't have time to do it, and you kind of just suffer through it, and you just wake up in pain and you just deal with it. And that's how a lot of people go through their whole lives. There's a great resource that that you can use, and the resource is called Yoga for BJJ, and you can find it on yogaforbjj.net, and they have these really awesome programs specifically designed for jiu-jitsu guys and girls to help. I don't know if it bends like that. Kind of.
Just let me do what I'm doing.
Okay. For jiu-jitsu guys and girls to help with the issues that come from jiu-jitsu. It's run by a jiu-jitsu black belt named Sebastian, and he's really knowledgeable in the sport of jiu-jitsu as well as yoga. And his personal journey of recovering from a serious back injury led him to yoga, and he began to master it, and has henceforth created this online system that teaches yoga to people who train jiu-jitsu in a way that makes it easy to incorporate into your warm-ups, into your drilling, into your just day-to-day life on the mat without having to go to a full yoga class where you're not really sure what to do, and you have to bring a yoga mat, and like you're around a bunch of people that know the poses and have way better flexibility than you. It can be difficult to get into yoga in that scene, but if you already stretch before training, why not learn to stretch right, you know? So there's a lot of techniques and maneuvers you can use that can directly benefit your problem areas already. And the site even has it categorized by body part in some cases, or by athletic type in some situations too. They have a section called Yoga for Rocks, for instance, for people who are really, really inflexible already and maybe can't even do some of the basic yoga poses. They have it's a great like beginner's course for people. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, which it really should interest everyone who has any sort of inflexibility, you can get a 10% discount using the coupon code Matburn with a capital M and no space. It's just Matburn, no spaces. You can get 10% off, and that supports our podcast as well. We work with them closely, and they're also our personal friends, and so we want to support them, and they're supporting us, and you guys can benefit from it.
Yoga for BJJ.net.
It's .net.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I have a charity shout out.
Okay.
It's a charity shout out because they're not actually sponsoring us, and I just want to help support their cause.
Oh, I see. Who is it?
The We Defy Foundation.
What is that?
So they basically pay the membership fees for combat veterans or disabled veterans to train jiu-jitsu. And that's it. Yeah, because they need to train because, they probably saw some shit that sucked and maybe they have a hard time processing that. And as you know, jiu-jitsu is a great way to kind of get in your flow state and meditation
Get
zone.
away from those sort of bad thoughts, toxic feelings and thoughts for sure.
Helping veterans focus on jiu-jitsu instead of focusing on some bullshit that they had to see that they can't unsee.
Cool. And where can people go help out with that
I have no idea. It's the We Defy Foundation. I think it's
what's it called?
We Defy.
We Defy.
Yeah.